We appreciate your presence at our athletic contest and encourage enthusiastic participation. West Irondequoit is committed to providing an inclusive environment that values all community members. We ask you to help support education-based athletic goals by keeping your cheering positive and respectful.
High school football fans, Varsity Media is bringing exciting, exclusive content to you for the 2022 season. Introducing the Varsity Media Pass, available on iOS and Android. Accessible all season long, the Varsity Media Pass features game highlights, weekly podcasts.
Can you talk a little bit about 8-man football and how it's grown?
Top 10 plays of the week, player interviews, and so much more. Head to varsitymediapass.com to download the app and start enjoying content only Varsity Media can bring. You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
Good evening and welcome to Irondequoit High School. My name is Jeff DeVeronica. I'll be bringing you play-by-play action tonight. Irondequoit and Brockport, and my color analyst is my former boss with the Democrat and Chronicle, now my good friend and co-host on the Connors and Ferris High School Sports Show, Mr. Steve Bradley. Steve, I'm so excited about this matchup. We're going to tell you folks about how close these two teams are in many, many ways. They're both coming off emotional, close losses last week. And I expect a fantastic game. If you're thinking about flipping over to another game tonight, do yourself a favor. Stay right here.
Yeah, don't do it. You're right, Jeff. We're going into Week 6 of the high school football season here in Section 5. The power rankings came out for Class A2. And if the postseason started today, this would be a postseason matchup. Right now, Irondequoit sitting at the number 4 position with a 3-2 record. And Brockport is in the 5 spot at 2-3. And you can see just how even they are. The scoring, each team averages 27.6 points per game. Brockport a little bit more potent in the passing game with Landon Scott, 192.5 yards per game. Irondequoit likes to keep it on the ground, 143 yards per game. And this game is really, I think, going to be determined at the line of scrimmage.
And what's very important is, and Coach Nugent from Brockport, we were talking last night about this, is that they got to, we'll talk about our keys of game too, but there's more speed, right? More speed on the Irondequoit roster, throughout the Irondequoit roster. He's very concerned about that, Steve.
He is, so he's going to have the Blue Devils focusing on playing assignment football and maintaining contain. They want to keep everything inside. If Irondequoit can get to the numbers in the perimeter tonight, that will open up a lot of opportunities for the Eagles.
We'll pause now for our national anthem.
On the homelands of the Onondaga of the Haudenosaunee Confederacy. It is on these lands that we teach, learn, and live. And now let's honor this great country of ours and the men and women who serve to protect it, both home and abroad, with the playing of our national anthem.
right, great rendition of the national anthem here. We got about low 50 degrees here, Steve Bradley. It definitely feels like a late fall game. And here's some of these top performers. And a great brotherhood here with Landon and his brother Ashton Scott. This kid has had a terrific season, Steve, hasn't he?
He has. You can see he's completing about 56% of his passes for 867 yards, 8 touchdowns. He's also rushed for 7 touchdowns. So if Brockport gets close to the goal line, look for him to maybe keep the ball and plow right into the end zone with it.
Coach Nugent said last night to us that last year they opened up the playbook when they saw what this young man could do.
And for the Eagles, Jeff, Lemire Smith, this is just his performance in week 3, 8 rushes for 87 yards, 3 touchdowns. He's got some of that breakaway speed that is concerning for Brockport. And on the season, he's got 66 carries for 369 yards, also 8 touchdowns.
8 touchdowns leads the Eagles. Again, they have speed all over the field. Both teams have injuries, and both teams have, Steve, a lot of two-way starters. We'll see how that affects this game, because these I think Coach Nugent called his players last week or this season gladiators. They love it so much.
Yeah, and Brockport has 9 two-way starters, Jeff. And the thing is, they don't have a lot of seniors either. As we go throughout the game, we're going to be talking about a lot of sophomores and juniors. Landon Scott is a sophomore, so he's putting in the foundation for a very good team. But they lost to Canandaigua last week, 27-21, on a scoop and score in the final 4 minutes. Brockport had a 14-point lead on the Brave.
Three-time defending champions.
And Canandaigua has never lost on Braves Field. So they lost their first 2 games this season, but they're certainly trending upward.
And last week, Irondequoit had fallen behind 21-7 at Greece Athena, scored a couple touchdowns in the last 7 minutes to force overtime, but then lost in overtime. And they've had injuries too. Their main quarterback. Here's some of the common opponents for these two squads. Here, look at what they did. Irondequoit hammered Eastridge, but Brockport lost Eastridge.
That was week 2.
The season opener, I think. I beg your pardon. East High took it to Irondequoit, and they also obviously they've been fantastic all year long. Coach Fichter called East High probably a cut above everyone else in Class A.
People are saying that, and they tend to agree with it. You look at the Greece Arcade game, each team scored in the 40s, gave up in the 20s, pretty even there. And then what you referenced last week, the Athena game, overtime win for the Trojans against the Eagles. And Brockport defeated Athena 32-29. Brockport did win the toss, Jeff. They elected to defer, so the Eagles will get the ball first here tonight.
And this was an Eagle team that started out with 2. It was like QB1 and QB1A. Eric Barr, one of the strongest arms that Dan Ficker said he's ever had as a quarterback, which is saying something when you got a Freddie June in your pocket, right? He's injured. He's out for the season with an ACL tear, and Xavier Ross is the quarterback for Irondequoit, and they don't do a lot of passes, Steve, and Coach Ficker's okay with that. Here's our kickoff. Slips on the turf.
And I think that was Lemire Smith right there.
It is Lemire Smith, Steve. He doesn't look very big, but he's one of those guys that if he gets to the edge, Steve, he could go the whole way.
And, Jeff, our officials for tonight's game, our referee is A.C. Buckland. Umpire is Darren Tyson. The linesman is Nicholas Tomedy. Line judge is Andre Lewis. And the back judge tonight, Ryan Krebs.
Beg your pardon, that was Javant Smith on the return for the Eagles. Pretty good wind here, Steve, at the back of Irondequoit right now. Maybe a little bit side to side, but definitely in their favor here. And I don't know, maybe Coach Fichter was playing possum yesterday. We talked about running the ball so much, how we don't pass. We come out in a shotgun formation.
But, you spread the field, you might get that matchup you want. We'll see.
Ross, he's rolling to his right. Looking at the short pass.
It's Mackay Christensen.
Mackay Christensen, he's a sprinter in track, and solid game to start for the Eagles. About a game at about 15 yards. Moving the chains right off the bat, Steve.
Yeah, and that was a pass, but it was basically a long handoff from Ross to Christensen. Christensen's going to line up in several spots tonight, so keep your eye on number 5.
Yeah, he's got 7 rushes for 114 yards. He's got 4 touchdowns overall in the season, 5 catches, now 6 for 140 yards.
And Xavier Ross, Jeff, has a lot of experience, even though he wasn't the starter at the beginning of the year.
There's Smith up the middle. Tough running for that young man. Almost to the 45-yard line. Good blocking up front. Let's go through some of those big guys for the Eagles, Steve.
So the offensive line from left to right for Irondequoit. The left tackle is Evan Schaefer, number 53. Your left guard is James Tanby, number 57. Josh Luciano, your center, the man in the middle, 5'7", 170 pounds. Jalen Hill is your right guard at number 76. And Aaron Thompson is your right tackle, 6'2", 245-pound junior wearing number 75.
More size on the right side. Jalen Hill almost hits 300 pounds, and Aaron Thompson at 245 for the Eagles. 2nd and 4. Rolling right. He's going to keep it himself. He's a good runner and a good passer.
And a good tackle right there by number 9. That's Landon Scott. Landon Scott went low. And Coach Victor did mention that Xavier Ross is a dual threat. He was there in space. It looked like he had more room than he did. But Landon Scott, his counterpart as a quarterback on defense, making a good tackle there from his linebacker position.
Really good tackle. Got down low, and that's your quarterback making the hit. Another first down for Irondequoit across midfield. 47-yard line. Got a stoppage of play here.
And I don't know if that's Landon Scott maybe shaken up, Jeff. He's walking slowly toward the coaches.
It looked like he was, maybe we'll get a replay on this one, Joel.
Looks like the official, after the play, sometimes when they see a tackle or they think there may have been contact with the head, with all the concern about head injuries in sports.
How they do it at the high school level? What about the NFL level?
It depends on the independent neurologist. That could be a game-changing play.
Disastrous news for Brockport there. Only 3-4 plays into this ballgame, they may have lost their top linebacker and their starting quarterback. 1st and 10 again, 47-yard line for Irondequoit. Ross again in the shotgun, flags and whistles. Steve, we got it looks like an illegal procedure here.
Yeah, a little pre-snap movement there. So it'll be 1st and 15. While we have a moment here, Jeff, let's take a look at the Brockport defense. Dylan Lassar is your defensive end. Shane Lassar, defensive tackle, number 78. Number 68, Jordan Beaton at defensive tackle, and number 20, Torrance Salvati is one of your defensive ends.
Steve, we got trips out wide here for Irondequoit, but it's Smith over to that right side again. Good ground again. Boy, good gain again for Irondequoit at 1st and 15.
Number 1, Lemire Smith, the ball carrier.
Yeah, that Irondequoit line is getting some push there, Jeff.
Steve, we went through this. Both teams want to control this clock, don't they?
Yeah, they do. If one team has the ball on offense, that means the other team can't score.
And you see, get to the edge. We talked about that, and cover all the way down the field. Watch for number 44. He's the X factor for Irondequoit coming back from an injury. Isaiah Ballard coming back from a dislocated knee, Steve.
Yeah, we've talked about Lemire Smith, and Connor Gresson's number 14 has been key to the Eagles on both offense and defense. As Ross keeps it up the middle, picks up about 4 yards, they'll set up about a 3rd and 7.
They run him a lot, Steve. He's a tough kid and good running up the middle there. The penalty is the only time they've been stopped, really. They're getting 4 or 5 yards on every time they touch the ball. And we'll see what Coach Victor dials up here. Going to be about 3rd and looks like about 7.
Yeah, and number 67 for Brockport, Jeff, has been off to a good start. He's made a couple of tackles that's caught my eye. That's Jordan Beaton.
Ross rolling to his left, looking down. He's looking for.
He's going to keep it.
And he's going to be just short.
And a great open field tackle. Again, that's number 22, Scatia, Braden Scatia. And Brockport has done a very good job in the open field. I think maybe Irondequoit has gotten to the perimeter a little bit more early than Brockport had hoped. But the playmakers on the Brockport defense have come up with some sure tackling to set up this 4th and 3.
Braden's father was a really good player. I think it was out in, I think it was Hilton, did we say?
I think so. Dominic, wasn't he?
Yeah, I think you're right. Steve. 4th and 2, they're going to go for it. It's a direct snap to Smith.
Ball's on the ground.
Yeah, that's going to be no good at all for Irondequoit there. Just was looking up, Steve, a little too early to see where he wanted to go, and he dropped the snap.
But very good play there by number 20, Torrance Salvati. Brockport defense was in there. You're right, the timing was off there on the direct snap with Smith. It wasn't handled perfectly. But sometimes those broken plays turn into big plays, but not that time with Torrance Salvati there to cover it for the Blue Devils.
So now we're going to see they're going to take over at their own 43-yard line. Who is going to be the quarterback, Steve Bradley? Trying to find Scott on the sideline. I don't see him.
I think he is behind. Maybe it's Nate Parker, 32.
I think you're right.
So this would definitely change how the offense is run. But Nate Parker has done it all for the Blue Devils this year as a running back and a receiver, and now he's taking snaps.
And he hands off. It's
Scatia.
Scatia again, number 22. Nice gain there. Trying to see if we can get some eyes on where Scott might be on the sideline, Steve.
I think he was directly across from us. There's 3 or 4 players there, and it looked like he was sitting down and being evaluated before the last couple plays on that last series.
Disappointing way that the drive ended there for Irondequoit. They were moving the ball pretty well, and that penalty kind of just seemed to change everything for them, even though it was just a 5-yarder.
Yeah, but it's one of those pre-snap infractions that, coaches, when they look at the film, those always want to be cleaned up, and they feel like maybe they stopped themselves.
O'Day split wide left for Brockport, and he's going to, that's Parker running up the middle. Good tackle, big hit there up high. Big number 76 for Irondequoit. That's Jalen Hill. It's had a terrific season for them, one of their top tacklers this season for the Eagles.
And he's at that defensive tackle spot, Jalen Hill. And this will be interesting to see what Brockport's able to do, because in high school football, you don't get a chance to run your twos a lot. They definitely want to shorten the game and keep the clock moving. Set the edge. We've talked about that on defense, containing the speed on Irondequoit. And keep pushing. That applies on both sides of the ball. On offense, it's after you make that first contact, keep driving that block. And on defense, when someone hits you, get off that block, shed that block, and go make a play.
Tyler Judge split wide left. Parker takes the snap. We might have motion again here for the Blue Devils, or maybe
they got a timeout before the snap.
Timeout called by the
so
we could look at, if we could, Joel, some of those key players for Brockport again, and Dylan Lassar has been fantastic. In fact, I think Coach Nugent said he is the best player on both sides of the ball that we have.
Yeah, Landon Scott, who we mentioned right now, not in the game. And Nathan Parker might take on an even bigger role if he's playing quarterback tonight. In high school football, with a short practice week and limited time, you don't get a lot of work, especially a two-way starter like Parker. So if he's going to go the route here, Jeff, I would think that Brockport may have to simplify the offense a little bit, keep it basic, and keep things, try to keep the chains moving more on the ground than through the air.
Parker's the leading ground gainer, 175 yards on the season, and he's taking the snaps now. 3rd and 7 at the 46 for Brockport. And in motion, that's Scatia. Direct snap, it's a Wildcat. Here he comes. And
got a cutback move.
Got it. I think he's in, Steve. I think that's the first down.
It's going to be right there. It'll depend on the mark. I know Coach Nugent thinks that he got it, but and they are moving the chains, Jeff. Good call by you.
Josh Luciano on the tackle for Irondequoit. He's got 43 tackles on the season. He's one of the league leaders in sacks with 6 this season.
We talked a little bit about what the impact of not having Landon Scott might mean for the Brockport offense. It'll be a little bit of a change for the Irondequoit defense, too, because they were preparing for a dual threat who has almost 1,000 yards passing and 8 touchdowns. If Brockport was able to move the game on the ball on the ground, the ball might not be in the air very much tonight.
Again, Parker deep. Landon Scott injury on the first 3 plays of the game. Let's see, we got Irondequoit jumping. We got Brockport guys clapping. But it looks like it might be. I beg your pardon. It is offsides on Irondequoit. So tack on 5 yards here for the Blue Devils. 2nd and 5.
1st and 5.
1st and 5. Beg your pardon.
So that is a big play for Brockport as they're trying to discover exactly what they have right here.
First and 5. Parker, the quarterback now. He's the leading ground gainer on the season, but he's got to take the snap. Scatia right up the middle, barely touches. He barrels through the line, and a big hit there for Irondequoit. That's number 8. That's Miles Wynn on the tackle. And he needed to slow him down. He was about to pick up a head of steam, Steve.
He was, and that was a big hole there on the right side of the line. And Shane Lassar and Jordan Beaton doing a good job getting that crease there for 22, Braden Scatia.
Steve, we see, I think for the first time this year, some winter hats on the coaching staffs tonight, and the hoods are up.
A little wind, a little chill in the air, but it is October, Jeff.
First down on the 32-yard line for Brockport. Marching right down the field just like Irondequoit did. Rolling, he's going to put this one up. Parker's a short pass just behind the intended target. Number 20. And I'm going to get you that name in 1 second.
Torrance Salvati, Jeff.
Salvati, all right. Torrance Salvati, of course.
You'll remember that.
Salvati. Good Irish kid. He's a junior and passed just a little bit behind by Parker there. Had some running room if you let him. But we're going to get a 2nd down for Brockport.
Number 1 coming into the game right now for Brockport, that's Justin Sillen. He's a player that is relatively new to football, hasn't had a lot of reps, but he could be one of those game changers. Right now, he's in the tail of the eye behind Parker.
Got 3 receivers split wide. Low snap, good job, and it's a pitch to him, Steve. And Irondequoit's all over it.
Yeah,
over it.
Yeah, the timing was off on that play with a snap, a little bit mishandled, and Irondequoit was there to blow that up right from the beginning. Looked like number 60 was the.
He finished them off.
Luciano got there first, I think.
Santana got there to finish him off. It's very similar to the Irondequoit drive. He's moving, and then this penalty, and they stall here. So now we got 3rd and 18.
And this, I think, where the Brockport offense is a little bit probably more limited. This is probably not where they want to go. I wouldn't be surprised if they kept it on the ground or maybe went with a screen play or something short and low risk.
Something simple, yeah, for sure. Maybe they get it close up to maybe go for it on 4th down. Another flag, another penalty here. And the Brockport guys are slapping 5, so it looks like maybe Irondequoit's offside again.
Yeah, that's 3 pre-snap violations by the Eagles in just over half a quarter of play. So that's not going to make Coach Victor very happy.
Steve, what do they say? Watch the ball, right? Watch the ball. What's going on? Does Parker have some sort of amazing cadence that's throwing these guys off?
I don't know how much quarterback he's played, so I'm a little hesitant to credit him for having a great hard count, but it's been effective.
He's Omahaing right now, isn't he? All right, again, direct snap, handoff to the middle of Scatia. He's got some running room. He's
cut back, but the ball's out.
It is out, but I think he got it back, Steve. He got it back, boy. And I tell you what, if he doesn't fumble, it's probably a 1st down.
It was, but the impressive thing there on that run, Jeff, is Scatia got to the 2nd level, and he made a fantastic cut where it looked like you said he was headed outside. And then the ball got loose, and he was fortunate enough to cover on it.
Well, I think the guy that he juked actually poked it free. He was by him, but he poked it free to a fumble. But we're going to go for it on 4th and 3 for Brockport. Coach Nugent's going to roll the dice just like Coach Victor did. I'll tell you more about those guys coming up very soon, about their rivalry as high school players, and then the big college moment for both of them when they played at Cortland and Brockport State. Right up the middle, Parker, and he's going to get there, Steve.
Wow, Parker is impressive.
Power running.
Yeah, he's tough. He's not the biggest guy on the field. He's 5'10", 180, but he has a nose to push forward, and impressive drive here by Brockport, Jeff, overcoming a couple of a penalty and a big loss, and the chains are still moving.
Senior middle linebacker for Irondequoit, Connor Gresens on the tackle. He's up around 50 tackles now on the season. Also a terrific baseball player, was the Division Player of the Year as a catcher for Irondequoit last spring.
And right now the officials are gathering to chat something over. Not sure exactly what it is. But Coach,
tell you what, the way they're moving the ball without their starting quarterback, Steve, not bad, huh?
Yeah, they're getting a great push up front, and we talked about how important it was going to be regardless of who was back there at the point of attack. And so far, so good. And this is a look at the Class A2 standings. East High, as you mentioned a little bit earlier, Jeff, has been impressive all season long. And then you get in the middle here, and it's really tight. Canandaigua at 4-1 plays Eastridge tonight. Reese Athena, who has played both Irondequoit and Brockport, has 1 more point than Irondequoit and Brockport, 27-26, 25, really tightly bunched. And then Eastridge, Wilson, and Greece Arcadia.
You'd have to say that Brockport certainly has the easier finishing schedule here the last 2 weeks, Steve. Irondequoit will host Canandaigua next week and then travel to Brighton. And Brockport is going to host their last 2 games against Wilson Early College and Spencerport.
Spencerport, a crossover that's war for the Oar game.
War for the Oar, Steve.
Battle of the Erie Canal, but we talked to both coaches about this possibly being a sectional preview, and they didn't want to go that far. They wanted to focus on tonight and the job at hand.
1st and 10 from the 20-yard line. Direct snap again to Parker. He's looking to run left. Irondequoit's all over this one, in on the tackle. Number 15 finished him off.
Bigham.
And number 9, Cam Freeman, had the initial hit. Cam Freeman's having a terrific sophomore season for Irondequoit, Steve.
And Andre Bigham, the senior outside linebacker, wearing number 15. But I think if you're Brockport, you get that power game going, you're okay. You're chewing up a lot of clock. We're 8 minutes into this game, and each team has only had 1 possession, Jeff.
Bigham now with 40 tackles on the season, and Freeman 28. So 2 of the top 5 in tackles for Irondequoit. 2nd and 11 now for Brockport. Parker's still in the backfield, and they're moving the ball, so why would they change? just hope Mr. Scott, Landon Scott's okay.
Absolutely.
Low snap. Good job to get down there and get it by Parker, but we got another flag, and now we've got Josh Luciano trying to play official. He's saying it's a false start.
The call is encroachment against
No, it's encroachment on Irondequoit again. Wow, they're just
AC Buckland had the encroachment. So
talking 20 yards here, Steve, with this drive around offsides or encroachment on Irondequoit.
When in doubt, you go with what the guy in the white hat says, though.
3.5 left here, first quarter. We are at Irondequoit. Thanks for watching us right here on Varsity Media. Jeff DeVeronica and Steve Bradley. We got at the 16-yard line, Steve. What a confidence boost this would be if they can go down here and get some points.
Yep. Then it's just been a sustained drive, maybe 3-4 yards at a time, and I'd look for Brockport to keep doing the same thing.
A little hesitation, big hit there by.
But I think there was a little confusion in the backfield, and he realized that the intended runner was going one way, and Parker just said, "I'll keep the ball and get what I can." It was a little bit of mitigation there.
That's Andre Bigham again on the stop, senior 5'9", 190 pounds, and textbook tackle there on Nate Parker.
Sideline warning issued to the Blue Devils.
Sideline warning on the Blue Devils. Not many on that sideline either, is there?
No, but I think they want you to stay back from the 30.
It's one of the thinner teams, smaller rosters that Coach Nugent's had in his 20+ seasons on the bench for Brockport. His alma mater, and both coaches are coaching their alma mater, Steve. We love that.
That's neat. Both members of the class in 1988. And even though this is a younger team for Brockport, Coach Nugent said he's really enjoyed this group. It's one of the favorite groups he's had in 25 years on the staff.
Big 3rd and 6 here for Brockport. They've been answering the bell every time they needed to, when they needed to pick up some yards. And
spreading the field here a little bit more than we've seen, Jeff.
It's Scatia in motion, and it's going to be Parker. It looked like an option, Steve. A little RPO for you, right? And he's going to get swarmed by Irondequoit. Number 8, again, on the tackle. That's Miles Wynn.
And Sarah Hall was there really early, too, Jeff, to disrupt that play.
Miles Wynn, a couple big plays there. Just a sophomore, Steve.
Yeah. And
here we go again. And he's looking to pitch this ball, I think, Steve. And he tucks it smartly. He tucks it because I think Hall had it covered.
Yeah, Hall got there really early to force the play, and then, as you mentioned, number 8 was right there to clean up.
And a very good read there by Miles Wynn on what he needed to do to shut that play down. And here we go, 4th and 11. They're going to go for it. We got 3 split wide left, split wide right. We'll see if Parker puts this one up. I think he's going to have to. Low snap, good job. It's a quick pass, and that's it's almost picked.
Wow.
Oh, almost picked. That's Mackay Christensen would have walked into the end zone from there, Steve.
Oh, he would have cruised home. You're right. That was the low snap again. It has disrupted timing on some of these plays, and as you mentioned, Christensen gets a great read on that play. It looks like they're going to try to go to number 2.
He did look left and came back through right, Steve, and
he jumped that route. Christensen did a good job, and that was number 12, the intended receiver.
Judd.
Yep, Tyler Judd, who's tied for the team lead with 16 catches this season. So
Irondequoit takes over its second possession on its own 21-yard line. Late first quarter here at Irondequoit High School. Ross hands off to Smith. Smith looking for running to get some. Nice little gain there. About 4, maybe 5 yards for Lemire Smith. Senior, 5'5", 145 pounds. Pushing 400 yards on the season right now. Top touchdown getter for the Eagles this year with 8.
And into the game comes number 14. That's Tyler Gressens.
Tight end in this formation, Steve, and he's a big boy, strong, and we'll see what they're going to do.
Yeah, they really have Gressens as an H-back, and they have 34 Miller as a tight end, so you look for Irondequoit maybe to keep the ball on the ground here.
Jordan Nolan in motion. Jordan Nolan's having a terrific season. 11 catches for 176 yards. Smith on the carry, up the middle again, runs into a pile, and he's going to get the first down, and a little bit more than that, too. So tough runner up the middle, again, for little Lemire Smith.
Very, very tough running. He was stopped short, Jeff, but the pile kept moving. So an impressive run there by Smith.
Let me play analyst for a second, Steve. They haven't really tried to get to the outside much. I wonder if we're a little rope-a-dope here, Steve. Up the middle, and then we're going to go out wide.
It could be, but it's also been a while since they've had the ball. That was a long drive by Brockport. They're deep in their own territory. Sometimes you just want to get into that rhythm, and you're right. Maybe get them to pinch the inside and then go out.
And again, it's working. Smith up the middle, stood up right away. A host of tacklers there for Brockport. Good penetration on that one, Steve. Looks like number 20 for Brockport was in on that tackle. Number 20 is Torin Salvati, the junior we called his name earlier. Nice job meeting Lemire Smith head up.
And Jordan Beaton was there again too. Jordan's having a good start to the game tonight.
All right, we're going to end the first quarter here, Steve Bradley. And after one quarter of play, we are scoreless here in Irondequoit. A game that I thought could have had a lot of points, Steve, but Brockport without his quarterback, and they're doing fine just so far. So we'll take our first break. You're watching Section 5 High School Football on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Varsity Media covers every sport at every level from every angle. Game film, recruiting videos, highlight videos, sportscasts.
That's complete, first down and more. Touchdown, Oceanside.
Photography, live streaming. You name it, we offer it. Don't leave your video needs to amateurs. Trust the pros. Contact us at 516-403-2050 or visit us online at varsitymedia.net. If you're an event organizer looking for a media company to cover live streaming, action photography, and game video for your event, look no further. Varsity Media travels throughout the Northeast covering weekend tournaments, showcases, and championships. Contact us today to learn about our services and packages at 516-403-2050 or visit us online at varsitymedia.net.
Welcome back to Irondequoit High School. Jeff DeVeronica and Steve Bradley on the call. Varsity Media Sports Network. We are scoreless through one quarter. Both teams had one possession. This is our second one here for Irondequoit, and they're moving the ball pretty well on it, Steve. Ross with the keeper up the middle, looking to the right, and nice job tackling there.
I think that's Mr. Parker, 32. Nate Parker got low there. Ross did a good job, Jeff, initially reading those blocks, pushed forward for about 4 yards, and Parker was there from his linebacker position to finish off the play.
Very nice job. Good tackle there by Parker, hanging on. 3rd and 9, and Irondequoit did move the ball effectively their first possession, and we'll see what they can dial up here. Their percentage on 3rd down has not been that good this year, Steve. I think it was under 30% actually.
Yeah, but some of that is just down in distance. 3rd and 9 is a lot different than 3rd and 1.
Ross back to pass over the middle. It's behind him and taken, almost interception. A couple guys had an opportunity for Irondequoit, for Brockport rather. Tyler Judd was one of them. And again, just like with Parker's pass, just a little bit behind on Parker's first pass. And Ross, he missed that one, Steve.
He did, and high over the middle is dangerous. There's actually 3 Brockport defenders behind them. I think the Eagles are a little bit fortunate that ball was not picked off.
Cameron Freeman, the intended target, 6'1", 175. Steve, I haven't seen 44 Ballard in the game yet. I'm checking the sideline here.
I did see him pregame.
Punt nearly blocked.
Yeah, it's going to hit about the 50. Which way is it going to bounce?
Bigham on the punt, and it's about an 18-yard punt, Mr. Bradley.
Yep, so Brockport will get great field position here to start the second quarter. To take a look at Coach Dan Fichter on the sidelines, Jeff, he told us a great story last night, didn't he?
He certainly did. He took us back to the, the early 90s.
1991, October 12th, when the Portland State Red Dragons hosted the Brockport Golden Eagles in a game. Coach Fichter lined up as a receiver, and the man covering him was number 23, Scott Nugent, who's now the coach at Brockport. And what happened?
An 89-yard touchdown for Dan Fichter. He made a move. Nugent slipped. It was a muddy field. Nugent thought he could catch up to him, but then he's like, it's 4.3 40-yard dash. I'm not catching Dan Fichter. He's got a gear that I don't have. That's Skeisha on the drive there, or on the run there, I should say. And we had a good time talking to those guys about that.
Yeah, they love reliving those old memories. They both, laughed about it now. And a couple other things to add on that. Cortland did win the game 52-14, so Mr. Nugent didn't have all was not lost that day.
But he had some inside information, didn't he?
He did. And the wide receivers coach for Brockport State at that time was a gentleman by the name of Tom Nugent, who is Scott Nugent's father. And in just bringing everything full circle, Jeff, Cortland is at Brockport tomorrow at 1 p.m. for a homecoming game. So they're playing again this weekend. 31 years and the more it changes, the more it stays the same.
And another flag here on this. Again, with Brockport or Irondequoit on defense, and it's a false start this time for Brockport, not an offside.
And the funny thing, Jeff, is I know where you were that night too.
Yeah, you've looked that up. It was fantastic. Where was I again?
You were at the University of Rochester's Favre Stadium covering U of R football against Carnegie Mellon, and that story appeared on page 4D of the Democrat and Chronicle, right above the college football roundup that detailed the Cortland-Brockport game.
And we talked with the guys about how Cortland was really good and Nugent's team was better in college, but Nugent did say that Irondequoit used to beat up on Brockport in high school when these guys played against each other.
That great, 1988 class included David Walker, who went on to star at Syracuse, Coach Fichter, several other standouts on that team.
Now you might see some of this. Now we got to delay a game on Brockport, Steve, and you have to wonder if some of this is maybe now they are a little out of sync without their quarterback. If you're just joining us now, Landon Scott, their talented sophomore quarterback, he was so good as a freshman and such a great future ahead of him. Made a tackle early in this ballgame and had to go out.
He did, and Jeff, he's a two-way star. I think he was up and standing right by the second the marker over on the other side of the field, the downstick number 2. So he was up and over there, but I don't know, if we'll see him back tonight.
I believe that was Justin Sillen. It was on the carry. He's the backup running back, but now he's the starting running back, the first-line guy, because the starter, Nate Parker, is now taking the snaps at quarterback. So shorthanded in the backfield here for Brockport, and it's a big third down coming up. You can hear the bell being tolled here at Irondequoit High School.
I think that's a solid observation by you. With Parker not probably getting a lot of reps during the week, the playbook is probably limited. And just getting through and getting the plays out and on the field and called is a little bit more of a challenge.
3rd and 19, Steve. We call that a country mile, even though we're not in the country. Parker, good fake, and he's going to get wrapped up. Nice job there on the tackle. That is 21. That's a nice job by Sarah Hall there. Junior defensive end wrapping up Parker before he got away. He got to start to get us a little steam there, but Hall did a nice job wrapping him up.
Yeah, and there is Landon Scott on the sideline. He's up and talking to his teammates, so that's a good sign. He has his helmet on. And we've called Hall's name 3 or 4 times, Jeff. He's off to a good start. And a game like this, I think we've probably seen 3 passes in almost a quarter and a half. So it's going a little bit of a grind-it-out, slug-it-out kind of game.
Parker's the punter here. Looks like he's fixing something on his uniform.
Well, we've got a player getting tended to over towards the far sideline as well.
Boy, it's a thin Brockport roster, right? 9 guys go 2 ways. They can't afford up to number 71, Steve Austin Paul, big junior left guard.
He starts on the offensive line. Good to see him walking off without much assistance, though.
But this is the Brockport team that can't afford any more injuries. Parker back deep to punt, and back deep for the Eagles, I believe, is Jordy Nolan. He's saying get away.
Good pressure there, and it's a good bounce for Brockport. That's going to roll inside the 20.
It is. Yeah, down to the 18-yard line is where Irondequoit will take over. 8:15 left here in the second quarter. We are at Irondequoit High School. You can see the Eagles in the background, and there he is, the former DB for the Cortland Red Dragons, a great college program. That's Scott Nugent, head coach of Brockport for more than 20 years now. His alma mater, and what a special thing it's got to be, Steve, to coach where you grew up.
Yeah, and to be able to do it for so long and have such an impact on the community and so many different athletes and families. You mentioned Landon Scott's older brother, Ashton. He's the starting quarterback at Wesleyan University in Connecticut now.
Ross, hand up the middle. Good running room there, and a nice tackle. That was Christensen on the run, and that goes Parker on the tackle.
Yeah, and that might have saved a big gain there. It looked like, Christensen had like one more step, and he could have been out the gate, as they say.
He has that gear that Fichter had when he was a high school player, Steve. Yeah. And then Nugent was saying that he thought he was gaining on that day at Cortland. He thought he was gaining on Fichter, and then Fichter saw him in his rearview mirror, and he said he has a gear that I've never had in my life.
And Coach Nugent said he ran a 4.6 40, but Coach Fichter was more in the 4.29 range, and that might not seem 0.3 of a second, might not seem like a lot, but over 40 yards it is.
It's Lemire Smith on the carry, running over the right side behind Jalen Hill, and Aaron Thompson for Irondequoit.
And 4.29, that's like Don Beebe speed, Jeff.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Brought down by the entire defense.
I did think we'd see some more passing here, Steve. There's a lot of runs. A lot of runs.
Well, Coach Fichter thinks that the bread and butter for Irondequoit is the running game, and I think they're just trying to use the line to wear Brockport down a little bit. We mentioned that the smaller roster size and a lot of those players on the field a lot, and the hard count there by Ross just got movement from Brockport, and it's probably going to be a free first down.
Well, they certainly have given enough of them away on the other end, Steve, defensively for Irondequoit. See what our call is here. It is going to be offside on Brockport, and that's going to be a first down for the Eagles.
That's enough to move the chains. First down,
and third penalty on Brockport so far tonight. The Eagles with 4. Every penalty tonight has been of the 5-yard variety, so it's 3 for 15 for Brockport and 4 for 20 for Irondequoit.
First and 10 from the
But Jeff, I'm with you. I think at some point Irondequoit is going to
I think they're going to shot. Yes, I do think they're going to take a shot. I agree. They have too much speed on the outside to do that. There's a pitch left to Lemire Smith trying to get to the edge, and we talked about them getting outside, Steve, and it's a pretty solid gain there. Good running by Lemire Smith. Now they are trying to widen this field, Steve.
Yep, and spread things out. Look to get those one-on-one matchups, and I think that if you have to defend the middle first, you have less personnel to get to the outside. Then the matchups start to favor Irondequoit, and we've seen a couple of good open field tackles, but you're one-on-one in the open field all night. You're not going to make every play.
Gain of 7 on that play, 2nd and 3 now for Irondequoit. Ross hand up the middle. It's Smith. He's going to get the first down. In on the tackle, number 3 for Brockport. That's Lucas Courtney. I do see, by the way, the X factor, Steve, if he gets in, coming back from the knee injury, Isaiah Ballard, number 44, tight end for Irondequoit. Fichter was really high on that young man and hoped he could get back in the lineup tonight.
Yeah, and I think it's a thing where they're going to pick their spots, right? You don't want somebody coming back from an injury to be used too much, and if they're on a pitch count, so to speak, you want to put them in situations where big plays are there and there's potential to succeed. There's Christensen.
Christian around the right end and shut down by Parker. Another good tackle by Parker. Thought I saw a flag, but I might be seeing it.
It's the beanbag that the guru doesn't like on the sideline.
Was it really?
Oh, yeah.
I thought it was a flag. Okay.
Yep. It looks like that some of the ball boys are throwing some of the beanbag on the sidelines, and some of the Irondequoit assistant coaches we've heard that, hey, it looks like a flag, and right there they got you with it too.
They did.
Really nice job by Brockport, though, of extending that play so that Christensen really didn't have anywhere to turn.
And nice tackle again by Nate Parker.
Well, Nate Parker is definitely needed his lunch bin.
Ross rolling left. He's going to run again, Steve. He's only got to get 8 yards for the first down. He's going to get about 6, and another nice tackle there. Number 20 and Parker again. Nice job by number 22. Torrin Salvati again in on the action. And Parker is sideline to sideline, Steve.
Well, it's almost taking us back to week 3 when he was against Greece Arcadia. Parker was the Class A2 Defensive Player of the Week. He had 13 tackles that game, and he's on pace for at least that many here tonight.
3rd and 2 here for Irondequoit. Trip split wide right. It's a quick screen over here to Smith. He's going to get the first down and more. Driven out of bounds. Good design on that play, Steve.
Yeah, and he got a good block out there on the edge from number 7, Xavier Gissendanner. Quick play to get the ball in Smith's hands. Gissendanner just had to occupy the defensive back for a second or two. He was able to do that, and it was a pretty easy pitch and catch there for the Eagles.
Well, that's one of those, they can get that all night long, I think, Steve.
And here they go trips again. So are they going to run the same thing, or is there spread the field and the quarterback draw? He ran into his own man.
He ran into James Tamby, and kept going. Little bumper cars there for Irondequoit, but another good solid gain as they're on the move once again. Their second possession, and we're under 4.5 minutes left here in the first half, Steve, from Irondequoit.
Yeah, that was 8 yards on first down. The Eagles will take that all night. Spreading the field, you're giving.
Now we got
you're opening
5
up the middle, but look at the middle of the field is wide open. They were coming back with the same play. They think they see something there.
Yeah, for sure. Looks like they're going to try to get everybody split out, and we'll say, Xavier, go ahead, find a hole and go.
Well, and it's not just everybody that's spread out. If Nate Parker is not in the middle of the field, you're moving their best defensive player, and positioning gets a little bit off. It might increase the chances for the Eagles to pop a big play.
Again, we're going to have 5 wide here for Irondequoit. Ross in the shotgun formation.
But what that does is it sends Parker out in the slot to cover and respect there. And that quarterback draw, you've got the best tackler on the field.
Way out wide,
and he can't get to the middle. It's very strategic. It's a good adjustment by the Eagles coaching staff.
Very good, very good. And looks like another first down. Here it comes. Wait for it. There it is, the Eagle. Did you hear the Eagle sound effect?
Jim Thomas does a great job every week, man.
My man Dalton's doing too. He's pressing all the buttons. Fantastic work here at Irondequoit. First and 10, and they're moving the chains every single down here, Steve.
And this is the exact kind of drive that I think the Eagles wanted. They're establishing control at the point of attack, moving down.
Smith, and he fumbles that one. A tough exchange. Ball is loose. You did, and Brockport's saying they have it.
But the officials are not saying that Brockport has it.
Yeah.
I think Irondequoit may have gotten to the bottom of that pile.
Jordan Nolan for Irondequoit said they had it, and they're winding the clock. I think Irondequoit has it, Steve. What a break.
That's Mr. Tamby with the big recovery, James Tamby.
Here's the exchange, and again, I think Smith, again, the handoff looked a little high, Steve, but I think he took his eye off the ball.
But that ball rolled forward for 5 yards. A lot of players had a shot at it. Smith obviously frustrated with that, but a great scramble at the bottom of the play. And as we mentioned, James Tamby comes away, and the Eagles are still moving.
Smith on the left side now, and he's wrapped up again. 20 got him on that one.
And Lucas Courtney, too, number 3, Torrin Salvati.
Salvati have a busy night for Brockport. Nice job by him. And Smith's going to have to wrap up that ball. They need to come away. We got 2:45 and rolling here, Steve.
Yeah, but I don't think that if Irondequoit
all their timeouts available
can get points, they're not in a hurry to score. They'll take it, but they're okay with the clock moving too.
Here comes Christensen on the end around, and he's getting to the edge this time, Steve. He could go, Steve. He could. He's going to go.
He's gone.
It's a touchdown from 25 yards. Mackay Christensen on the end around, and he takes it to the house to put Irondequoit up. I don't think they're going to mind scoring a little early, Steve. They're to pay dirt.
They are, and Coach Victor told us that Christensen would line up in a bunch of places. Jeff, and this play was really made in the backfield where he was able to elude the Brockport tackler, number 4, and he gets to the corner, and once he got to the corner and got to the outside, there was no catching Christensen.
And what was Coach Nugent worried about, Steve?
Contain.
Letting them get to the outside. We can't let them get to the edge.
The D-back lost contain, and Christensen was gone.
Comes the extra point attempt here for Irondequoit. That's Samuel hit a pole. Certainly the Eagles fans do not want him to hit a pole. They want him to put it in the middle. And I think it's blocked, Steve. I think it's blocked.
No good. Good pressure there by the Brockport line.
He's coming up limping, too. Oh, I beg your pardon. It's Jordy Nolan limping a little bit.
So 6-0 Eagles, Jeff. 2:25 to go. And a good look at Mackay Christensen right there.
Young man who was a sprinter that went to the state championships in track last spring.
And you talk about having the extra gear right there. He pulls away from 3 Brockport tacklers. Last-ditch effort there by number 3, Lucas Courtney, but no catching Mackay right there.
6-0 Irondequoit. Again, both teams coming off tough losses last week. And again, what a monumental win and upset that would have been if Brockport could have gone into Canandaigua and pulled that out, Steve. But still had to come away with a lot of confidence.
A lot of confidence. Young team. Look at the remaining schedule for Irondequoit. I think that puts added importance on this game. Canandaigua, which is 4-1 coming into this week. That'll be a battle. Those teams have a good history.
As is Brighton 4-1.
And Brighton, Coach Leanne's team is also very tough. You know, in those crossovers, you never know who you're going to get. Brighton has been very solid this year, along with Webster Schrader and also Spencerport up in Class A1.
You got to wonder by the last week of the regular season if Cam Mesh might be back for Spencerport. You know, he's been nursing an injury since I think it was week 1. It might have been the season opener.
Yeah, and we talked about ball control being the key to this game. With that Spencerport offense, they control the ball all night, and they really limit the opponent's opportunities. Looks
like Judd is back deep for Brockport, and also Sillen. It's going to go to an up back here. Let's try to get his number. Bounces off one set of tacklers. Is that Scatia, Steve?
And number 20, I think it might be Salvati.
Salvati's kids everywhere tonight. Nice job.
So 40-yard line, 2:19 to play.
They have time, and it looks like we're going to stay with Mr. Scott on the sideline. Boy, at this point, Steve, I'm going to guess he's not going to play tonight.
You would think. I mean, with all of the player safety concerns, you get a head injury. I'm sure that they did an initial evaluation. There's a trainer, and it's always safety first. The young man's a sophomore in high school. You don't need to risk anything by putting him back in one football game on a Friday night in October.
So Parker handed off that one. He did not Scatia again on the run.
Now, do the Eagles taking the timeout here? So Coach Victor may be wanting to try to get the ball back and get a second shot.
Brockport, I think, has 2. They used 1, but interesting that he's ultra aggressive here. But again, Victor may have smells a little blood in the water here. He saw something, and they're going to go after it now before Brockport get into halftime and make any adjustments.
Yeah, I think that might be part of it. And you also know that Brockport won the opening toss to the game and deferred. So, make them get a first down and run out the clock. Don't do their work for them. And of course, try to prevent them from doubling up as well.
I always say this, got to give a shout out to Varsity Media. Thanks for inviting us to do the broadcast. This is only our second game together as a broadcast team, Steve Bradley. And young people, if you're watching this on the replay, if you're watching it now, you have no idea how good you have it. Your games are live on your TV, on your phone, on your iPad, wherever you're watching it. It's really cool for you. I still have VHS, Steve, VHS tapes of when I was wearing some really high shorts from Canastota High School.
And don't forget the halftime and post-game interviews with John Garino. We got it all tonight.
Fantastic. 2nd and 10 for Brockport. 2:09 left here in the first half. Another low snap. Parker's looking to throw. He's going to throw this one deep. He's got a man. He overthrows Judd and is picked off.
Yep, number 3.
Jordy Nolan.
And he's got room,
He does have room, Steve.
He's got this whole side of the field. Parker's got to make that tackle.
And he does. He's Nate Parker, but a great return. And I like the fact that Brockport took a shot, Steve, but this is what Victor wanted. Now he's got the ball back inside of Brockport territory.
He does. That was a long, deep pass.
It's a good arm, good throw. He just overthrew him.
A little bit overthrown. Good coverage. The high, deep ball over the middle is always risky. Great job by Nolan. That's probably pretty close to a punt, and where the damage is done, Jeff, is on the return in the open field by Nolan, and really sets the Eagles up nicely with a chance to get the second touchdown before the half runs out.
All right, they're going to take over at the 31-yard line with 1:52 to go, and I think a couple timeouts in the pocket here for Dan Victor.
They're still going with that trips formation.
And that's exactly what they're doing, and they want to get him out wide now, and Ross is he's not going to get dragged out. He runs out of an arm tackle, and he's going to almost take this one in.
Yeah, that's a touchdown-saving tackle there by Lucas Courtney, and a very tough, strong run there by Xavier Ross.
25 yards, dude.
And with his size, 6'3", 180 pounds.
Someone had to hold his shirt right there, Steve. They couldn't. It was
Parker, I think.
It was Parker, yeah. He couldn't bring him down with one arm.
He was pinched at the line of scrimmage. Ross strong enough to break that tackle and bounce it outside and almost take it to the house.
And we'll call his name again. You just mentioned Lucas Courtney's having a nice ball game for Brockport on defense. So it's going to be 1st and goal for Irondequoit. Looks like it's about the 7-yard line.
Now things get a little bit tighter, Jeff. There's not as much space to operate down there. And Russ is going to keep it.
He's looking to throw this one. He does, and it's low, and he was looking for Ballard, Steve. There he is, Isaiah Ballard, I believe. Was that Grezins or Ballard?
I had 44 on that, yeah. Ballard, yep.
It is Isaiah Ballard coming back from a dislocated knee and rolling left and throwing low there. But confidence in his quarterback to try to make something happen with his arm, Steve.
Absolutely, and giving Ross the RPO right there, the run-pass option, I think is wise because he's made several plays tonight with his legs, and he also has the ability to make a play with his arm. Straight drop back here.
And that looks like it's going to be high, and it's just over the head of Ballard, looking for him in the back of the end zone. Again on the coverage, and it was well done by Lucas Courtney. So we're 3rd and 10 with some time on the clock. I can see him running this because they want to try to A, score, and B, take some time off the clock.
Absolutely, but I think the A is more important than the B there. You get up by 2 scores in this game. Brockport has been without its first-string quarterback, and then make it tougher to come back.
Just joining us, Landon Scott, the linebacker and quarterback for Brockport, injured in the first series of the game. Ross was going to go roll left again, and then we got a stoppage at play.
I think maybe Brockport. Oh, Irondequoit got the timeout.
1:11 left in the first half. 6-0. The 25-yard touchdown run by Mackay Christensen. And the last series of downs for Irondequoit, and then the interception.
Last time these teams met, Jeff, in the spring season, April 13th, 2021, Irondequoit came away with a 28-14 win. And both coaches talked about how, regardless of how the talent on these teams is, if one team has a talent advantage, they still play close games. There's a lot with the coaches knowing each other and just the matchup. Some teams play other teams tougher, and historically that's happened with Brockport and Irondequoit.
And the rivalry dates back a while. Here we go, Section 5 up. We got some upcoming games here, Steve.
Yep, 13th, it'll be Hilton and Brighton. That's a great matchup in the Class A1. Churchville Chi-Line, Greece Olympia on the 15th. A doubleheader on the 15th, Spencerport and Webster Thomas. And then on the 21st, that's a big one, the Victor Blue Devils and the McQuaid, three-time defending Class AA champion McQuaid Knights.
Victor's 5 in a row they've won, right?
They have. They beat Penfield last night 41-14.
3rd and 10. Rolling left is Ross. He's looking to, he's going to get sacked on this one. Parker,
Ball's
it's a
out.
fumble, and Brockport looks like they have it.
That's a super play by the Brockport defense there.
Could be. It is, and it's recovered by number 20 for the Blue Devils, and that is
Lauren Salvati.
Salvati. I should just keep saying it. When in doubt, say Salvati.
Salvati or Parker. That's what it's been all night long, and just great pressure from the backside. That's Parker from the backside. Stepped up there, the lineman knocked it out, and tough turnover there for the Eagles. Big play for the Brockport Blue Devils. That's the kind of play to prevent you from going down 2 scores going into halftime. They should get the ball coming out to start the third quarter. So
Parker with the initial hit, and then Gavin Davis finished him off and jarred that ball loose, and it's a big turnover because, 13-14 nothing, Steve, in this game, and that's trouble for Brockport.
Right now, I would expect Brockport to be kind of vanilla here. Just let the clock run out, go in, adjust at halftime, come out and try and win the second half.
Parker handoff to Scatia, and he is just drilled.
Yeah, ball security really is the biggest thing here for the Blue Devils. Don't give the Eagles a chance from in close.
Andre Bigham on the tackle for Irondequoit on that one. We're under 45 seconds to play here, and I think we'll just take a knee here, don't you, Steve? Okay, we're going to have, make sure you stay tuned. We're going to get Coach Dan Fichter of Irondequoit up 6-0 here at halftime. And knowing Fichter, we're going to probably talk about the fumbles and the flags, right?
And the slugfest that we expected. I mean, this game, we expected a close game, and it's been a close game. Very, very tightly competitive and hotly contested.
Parker, the deep back here, you can probably take a snap and take a knee. Low snap again, dangerous. He hands off to Salvati. Salvati, decent running room there, but that's going to take us into halftime, Steve. 6-0 lead here for Irondequoit. Stay tuned. In a couple seconds, we're going to be speaking with Dan Fichter, coach of the Eagles. Irondequoit, you can tell he's not happy, and we get to talk to him. Fantastic.
But, he's got to be, maybe happy is not the right word, but he's still going in the locker room with a lead. They expected a tough game, and it'll be interesting to hear his thoughts here.
Well, he's talking to Christensen right now on the sideline, and we'll see if we can get him here before he goes into halftime. And here he goes, the head coach at his alma mater, Dan Fichter, is going to come on, and I'm thinking John's going to take it away for us right here, right?
Yeah, we're going down the field to John Garino.
Thank you. Down here, Coach Victor. 6-0 halftime. A lot of penalties in the first quarter. You got a touchdown, then another turnover. What do you got to do to clean up some of those penalties?
It's sloppy football right now. We got to just establish our run game and keep working. We just got to keep working.
Right. Defense, though, shutout here. What does the defense have to do to Brockport in the second half?
We just got to tackle. We got to run to the ball and tackle.
All right. Well, thanks a lot, Coach. Good luck. Jeff, back to you.
It's halftime at Irondequoit. A 25-yard touchdown run by Mackay Christensen is the difference. A couple turnovers, a lot of flags, and it's 6-0 Eagles on their home field. We'll take you into halftime. You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network.
High school football fans, Varsity Media is bringing exciting, exclusive content to you for the 2022 season. Introducing the Varsity Media Pass, available on iOS and Android. Accessible all season long, the Varsity Media Pass features game highlights, weekly podcasts.
Can you talk a little bit about 8-man football and how it's grown?
Top 10 plays of the week, player interviews, and so much more. Head to varsitymediapass.com to download the app and start enjoying content only Varsity Media can bring. Varsity Media covers every sport at every level from every angle. Game film, recruiting videos, highlight videos, sportscasts.
That's complete. First down and more. Touchdown, Oceanside.
Photography, live streaming. You name it, we offer it. Don't leave your video needs to amateurs. Trust the pros. Contact us at 516-403-2050 or visit us online at varsitymedia.net. If you're an event organizer looking for a media company to cover live streaming, action photography, and game video for your event, look no further. Varsity Media travels throughout the Northeast covering weekend tournaments, showcases, and championships. Contact us today to learn about our services and packages at 516-403-2050 or visit us online at varsitymedia.net.
For the best action shots and the best angles, look no further than Varsity Media. Our experienced photographers capture your athletes' best moments right from field level. Plus, we offer great keepsakes like bobbleheads, posters, plaques, and prints. For more information about Varsity Media's photography services, contact us at 516-403-2050 or visit us online at varsitymedia.net.
Looking for a great way to commemorate this season's sectionals? Section 5 Athletics is excited to work with Mugs & More to offer a variety of apparel options for each sport and each season. Items include graphics specifically developed to feature the sport and year, including items such as hoodies, hats, pants, and more. Apparel for each season is available for a limited time, so don't miss your chance. Visit section5.org/mugsandmore to see the many options and place your order today. If you're interested in staying involved with the sports you've enjoyed over the years, we may have an opportunity for you. Section 5 Athletics is currently looking for officials for several sports. Serving as a Section 5 official provides a great way to stay active, contribute to the sports you love, and earn money while making your own schedule. Visit section5.org/officials for more information and to express your interest.
Welcome back to Irondequoit High School. Jeff DiVeronica and Steve Bradley on the call for Varsity Media. It's 6-0, the homestanding Eagles, a 25-yard touchdown run by Makai Christensen late in the first half. And Steve, you got some numbers for us.
Yeah, Jeff, it was a pretty even first half as indicated by the scoreboard. Irondequoit a little bit of a territorial advantage, 8 first downs. Eagles have committed 5 penalties for 25 yards. And I think really from the Irondequoit side, the number that stands out is the 2 turnovers. They had a fumble when they were going for it on a 4th down early in the game.
First drive, yeah.
And then an interception on their last drive of or a sack fumble on their last drive of the half. There's Christensen getting to the edge right there, and we talk about the speed on the perimeter. He's able to run away from 3 tackles. That's our only touchdown here tonight.
And that followed up what looked like a pretty effective strategy Irondequoit was using with 5 wide, which took away a couple of the top defenders for Brockport, put them out wide, Nate Parker being one of them, and Xavier Ross, the quarterback, a very good runner, just getting through the line of scrimmage and getting yards just with his legs. Yeah, a lot of people think that by spreading the receivers in the offense, it's for the passing game. A lot of time it can benefit the running game because you're limiting the number of matchups that you have. Fewer people in the box leaves more room for anybody. It's like 8-man football, less than that, right? Yeah, it is, and I mean it's almost like 6 on 6, or a half-court offense in basketball, more of a 3-on-3. You look at Brockport, Jeff. They sustained an injury to their quarterback, Landon Scott, very early in the game. First series, he made a strong tackle on defense. Came out of the game, he has not been back, and I think that's really changed what the Blue Devils have been able to do. From both a physical standpoint and from a opening up the playbook. It's kind of brought their playbook in, made it a lot simpler. Nate Parker has had to step up and play quarterback. I've only seen him throw 2 passes. One was an interception. And so I really think the key is for the Blue Devils here to try and establish a rhythm on this first possession. If you're Scott Nugent, what are you happy about? You're happy that it's 6-0, and you're happy that it's a 1-possession game. You come out with a strong drive to start the second half, move the chains, and score, and you're right there. 1-possession game, you're 1 play away from the tie or the lead. And although we actually didn't get to hear what Coach Victor said, we know he was not very happy with the sloppy play in the first half by his Eagles. A lot of penalties for Irondequoit. Gave up 20 yards on that first drive, just in offside penalties. So hopefully they'll clean that up. Yeah, all of the 5 Irondequoit penalties were pre-snap variety, which means either motion on offense or encroachment on defense. Brockport had 3 penalties for 15 yards. So we expected this to be a tight game and a slugfest, and I think that's what we have right here. So you're Brockport, you haven't returned a kickoff yet. You want to put together a good drive here. Ideally, it ends with points, but you want to chew clock, limit time, and keep this as close as you can for as long as you can. Interesting. They got Parker and Sillen and some of the other hands guys up a little closer, and the deep backs are some of the big guys here for Brockport. We're not expecting a very long kickoff here by Irondequoit. So we'll see how this plays out. I know that they use a bit of an unorthodox kicking style. Steve, see that ball up there? That ball's on the ball's on the tee, but it's not in the traditional sense. Okay. It's laying down like I'll be doing tonight when I go to bed. Well, I saw an onside kick in the NFL last week, and that was referred to as a watermelon kick. I like it. The ball was set down like a watermelon. It doesn't look like it's total. It looks like it's on a little bit of an angle here for the Eagles, but it's an odd-shaped ball. You never know how it's going to bounce. So here we go. Notice Irondequoit, the guys with their pink socks on, Breast Cancer Awareness Month here, and looks like we're going to break here, and looks like 65 is going to put his foot to the wood here. That's Baras Domak, and it worked. It worked because there's no return. Our guy Johnny on the spot, Torrin Salvati, covers the loose ball there. You got a little, as well as Breast Cancer Awareness Month, so you see that. Actually, it's tough to see on the screen, but they had a little smoke, pink smoke. Pink flare. Bobby Wagner is not coming out of the stands to tackle anybody. So that's good. And Landon Scott's not coming off the sideline. It's going to be Nate Parker, the leading rusher and running back for Brockport's going to stay in at quarterback, I believe, Steve, and try to pull off what would be, you'd have to say, a fairly major upset. The fact that they're playing without one of their key players on both sides of the ball, Landon Scott. Yeah, and if you're Brockport, I think you're just trying to go 4 yards at a time right here. And Parker on the keeper. And good pursuit there by Irondequoit in there really early. I think, was that Bigham?
It was.
It was Bigham.
He came off the edge. And I think that's the one thing with this Brockport offense being a bit limited. The Irondequoit outside linebackers can shoot the gaps and pin their ears back a little bit and take some chances, because I don't think the Eagles are overly concerned about the passing game.
Yeah, I think stacking the box. Here's what the doctor ordered for Coach Dr. Dan Fichter. So we'll see what they can do. They're going to have to do something, because and Parker showed a good arm actually on the interception, so much so that he overthrew his receiver.
He did.
And he got intercepted. But so we'll see. We got Sillin now in the backfield, deep, way deep, and Parker's there too. It's going to be a pitch to the left to Sillin up the left side, and
Bigham.
a great pursuit again. Bigham is in the backfield, immediately, and Sillin couldn't even get going.
No, he's just exploding off the edge and going right to the ball. And when you pursue the ball like that, Andre Bigham just goes through the hole right there. There's nothing there. The Eagles are winning the line of scrimmage right now and pushing Brockport back.
Just like that. Now, if you're Irondequoit, you're thinking, let's get some good field position here. It's 3rd and 15. Back at the 20-yard line now, so we'll see what happens. What they're going to dial up. I think they gotta put this one up, Steve.
Yeah, you might look for a screen here or Parker on the keeper.
Well, it's going to be a handoff up the middle of Scatia, and nothing doing, Steve Bradley. A couple yards maybe. And you're looking at 4th and 13. They're going to have to punt. Good defensive stand by Irondequoit.
Well, it was that first 2 plays, right? It's all about down and distance. If you're Brockport, you want to gain 3-4 yards, give yourself a manageable 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3. That's a much different game when you're 3rd and 15 and you really don't have much of a passing game at this point.
Nate Parker, the Swiss Army Knife Jr., goes back for Brockport. He's going to punt it, and the deep man, I think it's probably Jordy Nolan once again. He let the last one roll. See what happens. A wobbly snap. Pretty good-looking boot here, but the wind's holding that up, and it's a Irondequoit bounce. Wow, he struck the green on that one,
It was a
Steve.
volata ball.
Wow, that was beautiful. It's a Pro V1. I think he spun it right back there. But Irondequoit's going to take over about the 39-yard line with tremendous field position, Steve.
Fantastic field position, and you asked about Coach Fichter. He said in the halftime interview with John, what do you need to do in the second half? The answer was clean up the sloppy play and tackle better, and they certainly tackled better on the first few plays of that drive, which sets up the field position here. And they are not going with that spread formation. Looks like they're in tight, so you look for maybe a little power running here.
Little Lemire Smith up the middle. Maybe out wide, Steve our way. You never know. We'll see. Man in motion is Jordy. I almost called him Jordy Nelson. Jordy Nolan. It's Lemire Smith, and he's not going to get very far. Finishing off that, jumping on the back is number 67.
Jordan Beaton. And Jordan's had a good game tonight. We've called his name 3 or 4 times. And
You got to do it.
What?
Jordan gave Lemire Smith a beating. Come on.
I didn't have to do it.
Come on.
You did it.
Gain of 1 there for Irondequoit. 2nd and 9. Approaching 9 minutes left here in the 3rd quarter. Ross this time
I've known you a long time, but I don't know how your brain works.
Under center. There's Lemire Smith, and he breaks through the line, and he gets some good yardage there. He'll be a few yards short of a first down, but that low center of gravity helps that young man, and sure he disappears under some big linemen too once in a while.
Once he gets in the wash there, he's a little bit hard to find, but a good job by the Eagles line pushing forward, and Smith had several yards downfield before he had any contact there.
3rd and 1 here for Irondequoit. Again with a tight set again. Here comes Smith up the middle, and Smith's going to get the first down a little bit more. And met by number 2, Braden Spencer by Brockport.
And that just looks like the Eagles went with the same play back to back. Almost like your dad would say, right? If they haven't stopped it, why not call it again?
Call it 10 times in a row. Tony D did it once a long time ago for Canastota High School. 8.5 and rolling here. Irondequoit trying to take hold of this game and make it a two-score game, which would put the shorthanded Brockport offense in a big hole.
Yeah, that would almost put them in the position where they need to force a turnover.
They're doing it, Steve. Lemire Smith breaks to the outside, breaks the tackle, and he's wrapped up there by number 7, I believe.
Braden Spencer
again, yeah.
So that's the same
one.
play 3 times in a row, and it's interesting because the Eagles found success in the first half by spreading the field with receivers. Now they've come back together, they've tightened things up, and they're finding success with this tight set.
Correction, I believe, was Justin Sillin on the tackle, but It's a great start here for Irondequoit, 14-yard line. Here comes Smith. Why change it, Steve, right? They are doing just that up the middle. Gain 3-4 yards.
The only thing different there was he kind of picked a different hole, right? He'd been going more to the left side, went more up the middle there, and he didn't get as much. I think that there may have been an opportunity for even more yardage if he would have stayed more to the left.
Steady dose of Lemire Smith so far on this drive, and he's been terrific all season. Over 400 yards now on the season. He's the top touchdown guy for Irondequoit, 8 on the season. And it looks like a timeout
I think
Brockport.
Coach Nugent and the Brockport staff has seen enough. This is all about, guys, they've run the same play four plays in a row, and we haven't stopped it. Here's what we need to do to take this away, and when we do that, look for something to counter that, right? I mean, this is definitely a perfect opportunity for the Irondequoit play caller.
And I know you had a conversation earlier in the day with Chris Pataglia, the defensive coordinator for Irondequoit, the former Aquinas head coach. I don't think he's layered up. You said he was a little chilly, right? I don't think he's layered up well.
He's got one of those thin-insulated hoodies. He's good. He's got the hair. The hair will keep him warm. He's got the hoodie. If the head's warm, everything's warm. And Tags. He can't stand still either. So you keep moving around, you're good.
He's got the hat on with the hood over it, and Victor, of course, you saw there in the huddle. He's got the winter hat on, the winter beanie, if you will.
And if Tags, he's thinking about the next series anyway. What are we going to do to stop him? What do we got to do? He's always thinking ahead. 2nd and 5. They can get a first down from the 9-yard line. It's Lemire Smith, a little cutback, not going anywhere. Yeah, there was the adjustment by Brockport there. Big play off the middle by number 50.
Might have been, it's 52 or 50, I'm not sure.
I thought it was 56.
There you go, it was.
So Gavin Davis, it's another big play by him. He's the one that had the sack for the fumble. And going with more of a little bit of a goal line look here.
Now they're going to go outside, Steve. You watch. They're pounding in the middle. 3rd and 4 from the 9.
Is Ballard in 44?
It's got to be more closer than the 9. It's Christensen trying to bounce outside, and there he goes. He's in.
He's got the corner, yep.
It looks like a 9-yard touchdown run. Mackay Christensen into the end zone. Once again, a Irondequoit touchdown. Well, steady diet up the middle, Steve. And then give it to Make It Happen, Mackay Christensen, for a 9-yard touchdown.
Well, and there you see, too, is just the ability of Christensen to make a man miss, bounce it outside, and get to the corner. The Eagles have been finding a ton of success on the left side. Christensen has the ability to get to the right side on his own and get to the end zone.
Going to go for 2 here. It's a direct snap to Christensen. Rolling right this time, and he's going to try to get in, and this time he might. No, he skipped in. Wow. Broke a tackle. Nice job. I think he broke the tackle of, it might have been Nate Parker, actually, which is very rare. Usually, Nate Parker gets your hands on you, you're done.
I think the key there for Christensen, though, is the legs never stop. Right, here's the touchdown. The middle's clogged up, and then he gets to the edge. Good job sealing there by 57 Tamby. It's a race to the corner, and he's able to beat number 12, Tyler Judd, with a pylon.
And I think that was Judd that got his hands on him there for the extra point, and that time for the extra point, Christensen broke it. So all Mackay Christensen getting in the end zone, and it's 14-0 Irondequoit. 6:56 left.
On the 2-pointer, Jeff, it was more about the leg drive. His legs just kept going. See, those legs don't stop. He's wrapped up. It looks like he's wrapped up, but he gets through the 2 of them because the legs never stopped, and the tackle was a little bit high.
It was Judd, and then maybe Sillen actually had a shot at him too, but good job by Mackay Christensen keeping the puppies pumping, Steve.
Yeah, or as John Gruden would say, low man always wins. Christensen, there was no low man there, so Christensen won.
That's a game changer, Steve. Irondequoit takes its first possession of the second half and goes in for the touchdown. It was just a 39-yard drive, though, with that great field position after the short punt.
Really set up by the Irondequoit defense there, too. So now we have more of a sense of urgency for the Brockport offense with 6:56 here to go in the third quarter. This is a drive where they really need to move the ball and try and find points.
And this is Judd on the return. Tyler Judd, one of the top receivers for Brockport. He's going to give him good field position here. Almost out to the 40-yard line, about the 37. That's where Brockport will take over. Nate Parker is the quarterback. You, of course, if you follow Brockport football, he's usually a running back, but Landon Scott injured on the first series of the game on defense. Made a tackle, I believe, on Lemire Smith, and it was a little bit of the head and shoulder, and he's out for the rest of the game, it appears.
Right, and we're not doctors. We don't speculate.
He's up and moving around on the sideline. It's not,
Good signs there,
Yeah.
but also, you got to take the precautions there as well.
It's going to be their own 38-yard line, and immediately a flag.
That's an offensive violation. I think there was 12 men in the huddle. I saw number 1 running off the field, so I think that's going to cost them 5.
Looks like an illegal substitution, Steve, and Sillen is going off the field for Brockport. Talking to one of the coaches there. So they'll start at a deficit 1st and 15 for Brockport back at the 33-yard line.
Yep, so it makes the task at hand a little bit more challenging for the Blue Devils, but
Oh, it's like almost a full house backfield, Steve Bradley.
got to give it to Robert Newhouse then.
Harold Gaden maybe back there. And Parker's going to put it up, and he's looking
Got him.
for it all. Judd looking, he's going to go up, and this one again, a good read on the ball again, and it's Jordy Nolan with the interception for Irondequoit. Judd almost could have got, boy, that's a 50-50 ball, and, Nolan, I think, Steve, we'll see it on the replay, he went up aggressively and got this ball.
Yeah, I think Nolan had a great read on it, but also I think that there was an opportunity there to hit Judd. Good pump fake here by Parker. Puts the ball up in the air. He's behind the defense, but nice close right there by Nolan to be in the right spot. He's playing that free safety center field spot very well. Came away with the second pick tonight, and Judd with a good job just to bring him to the ground and almost knock the ball away.
Jordan. Big hole for Lemire Smith, and take it from the 39. That's about a 15-yard gain for him over midfield, and he's got to be approaching 100 yards on the night, Steve.
And I think we're starting to see a couple of things that we thought might be concerning for Brockport here.
Attrition.
The linemen going 2 ways and getting a little bit tired here in the second half, and the Irondequoit continued possession. That short series, only one play, and the defense is back on the field.
Yeah, it's going to be a first down there. Yeah, they're going to be close again. Lemire Smith's having a great night, and it's pretty simple right now for Irondequoit. Give it to Lemire Smith and let your big boys up front do the job. Josh Luciano, Jalen Hill, Arian Thompson, James Tamby, Evan Shaper. Tremendous job. They're moving the piles.
Well, and then mix in a little Mackay Christensen too, right?
For sure. Yeah, you suck them into the hole here, right, with the Lemire up front, and then bounce it out wide.
The vortex.
There's Smith again. Up the middle, good yardage. Yeah, I think he's going to be close to a first down. I think he may have gotten it, Steve. They started the last drive at the Brockport 39. They started this one on their own 39.
Well, and just great push. Again, you mentioned the offensive line a couple of plays ago. Smith's job's gotten a lot easier. He's not getting touched until he's getting to the second level.
We are at Irondequoit High School. You're watching us on the Varsity Media Sports Network. Thank you for joining us. Irondequoit with 2 Mackay Christensen touchdown runs, one 25 yards and one from 9 yards. And it's Lemire Smith. He's the workhorse on the drives, and he's the starter. And Mackay is the Mariano Rivera. Steve, he's the finisher.
He's the closer. Yeah, he's the finisher. And he's coming in right now. Christensen's going to give Nolan a break.
Are you ready? No, he won't do it. He'll keep it on the ground.
That could be a jet sweep or something, though.
Popping something outside here. They're going to fake that, and they're going to go back to Smith up the middle on the left side again, running over Tamby and Shaper on the left. Nice blocking up front.
A little bit of eye candy there with Christensen. Send him there to get the defense's attention and keep coming back with Smith.
Cam Miller also in there for Irondequoit. Haven't called his name yet much tonight, but 3rd and 4, and we're certainly in 2-down territory if you're Irondequoit trying to pretty much put this one out of reach, I would think, Steve. It looks like somebody jumped here for Brockport. We'll see if it's motion or...
I think that's going to be on the defense, and that's going to give the Eagles a first down.
First down. They'll put them inside the 25 at the 24-yard line here. I think Coach Victor will keep this simple, Steve. Just keep it on the ground, keep going, and then maybe pop it out wide like he's done so far. I don't think they're going to put it up. There's no need to do it. You want to keep the clock moving, keep these boys healthy as they look toward hosting Canandaigua next week. Lemire Smith up the left side once again, and this time he's brought down by big number 50.
Yeah, the Eagles definitely have the Blue Devils where they want them now. They've got the 2-score lead, and they've got all the momentum, and then, as you said, they've got time on their side too.
Just a short gain on that one, just 1 yard for Lemire Smith. 4 minutes and rolling here in the left in the third quarter. Christensen in motion. He's going to take it out at the wide side again. This is the play that scored a touchdown, Steve, and he could do it again. Breaking a couple tackles.
Wow.
A spin move and a juke.
Christensen driving hard towards that goal line, Jeff. You know, you've been saying it all night, Smith, and then you come back with Christensen. You give him a different bit of look on this wide sweep. He's got one man to beat to the corner. He gets there, and Braden Spencer does a nice job getting hold of him. And then the rest of the defense is able to come in, and I think it's actually number 2, Braden Spencer, that's there at the end
from the 5-yard line, and it looks like he is in. It's another Irondequoit touchdown. You know what? For all the hard work that young man's been doing in the middle of the field, Lemire Smith gets in for his 9th touchdown of the season, and a great celebration here for Irondequoit.
So here we go. It looks like they're going to go 2-point conversion again here, Jeff, and that's could be 16 points, or it's at least 14 points in just over 3 minutes and 20 seconds.
Lemire Smith doing all the tough running inside, and they gave it to him one more time from the 5-yard line. He's in for the touchdown, and Irondequoit's going to go for 2 here.
Yeah, it looks like pure Wildcat, Jeff.
Darian Battle in the backfield, and looks like he's going to take the snap. Haven't called his name, and he's not going to get very far. He tried breaking some tackles, good effort, but he's going to get taken down. Looks like 56 in on the tackle there. Once again for Brockport, that's Gavin Davis. Nice
Gavin Davis has had 3 tackles for loss tonight. He's come up with some big plays, and that is a big play for the defense. It's 20-0 for Irondequoit. It's a 3-score game, but it gives Brockport a chance if they can get on the board and get moving here.
Hey, Lemire Smith just followed Aaron Thompson into the end zone. A nice job with blocking up front for Irondequoit. 20-0, 3:37 left here in the first half. There's Lemire Smith on the sideline.
Yeah,
you're welcome, Nike. And what a nice effort he's had. He's over 100 yards for sure, and he's probably up to 500 on the season now. 9 touchdowns leads the Eagles. And you see Xavier Ross there next to him. And great quarterback duo they had to start the season here in Irondequoit. And unfortunately, Eric Barr hurt his knee, and he's out for the season. And luckily, they had Xavier Ross to come in. But I think they were using start the season both guys at quarterback.
Yeah, and Ross has experience both at Irondequoit and previously at Bishop Kearney. I've seen him play a couple of times, and we've seen tonight that he's a dual threat. He can make plays with his arms and his legs. It looks like in the second half, the halftime adjustment was to go with that tighter set and let the running backs do most of the work, as we saw Ross carry the ball quite a bit in the first half.
The Hittapole is going to take the kickoff here for Irondequoit and see what happens. They've been pretty successful with these so far, and these squib kicks. This one's more traditional upright, Steve. No watermelon here.
No.
And looks like it's, that's going to be trouble.
It's a live ball, too.
Tyler Judd trying to get it. He's going to probably get tackled inside the 10 here. Yeah, right at the 9-yard line, and that's a mistake. You got to get that ball.
You talked about the play working and effective special teams play by the Eagles. Right now, that's the last thing Brockport needed to be pinned back deep inside of its own 10-yard line.
Two for 2 in the second half for Irondequoit. Looks like the big announcement, Steve, coming up here at Irondequoit.
2 for 1 hot food.
2 for 1 hot food at the concession stand. Let's go. You can take off if you want to go grab us something. Joel, what do you think? Let's cut them loose. Looks like we got an injured player here for Irondequoit. And
it's like the old special at the Red Ozer Metro. Buy one, get one.
Steve, I can tell you this. I am hungry. Jonathan Williams, it looks like he's the injured player, I believe, for Irondequoit, being helped up. Looks like he's going to walk off, or limp off, I should say. Pretty much under his own power. Number 21, Sarah Hall, helping him out, along with assistant coach Mike Butler. And looks like he's going to try to walk this one off, but hopefully that young man is okay. Brockport's not okay. They're down 20-0, and that kick puts them way back. The kickoff inside the 10-yard line. A long way to go here for Brockport, literally and figuratively, Steve.
It is, but we have to remember this is week 5 of the regular season, and it's a long game.
I tell you what, and most of the guys on this Brockport team are young,
right.
And they're going to. I said last night to Coach Nugent, this is a great foundation for them and what they're building for the future, and they've done some great stuff this year. Parker back to pass, time to pass. He's going to run. Looks like we might have a hold here in the backfield. But good time to pass there, and a good tackle by Mr. Hall, Sarah Hall.
Yeah, and great coverage by the Eagles defense. That's not necessarily a situation where you would expect Brockport to come out throwing, but they did. And one of the keys when Coach Victor was telling us about this game was to make sure that they had strong coverage all the way down the field. The Eagles did have it right there, which forced Parker to try and scramble and force the linemen to keep their blocks too long, and somebody got a hand up, and there's a holding infraction.
While we got a second, I want to say it was really neat listening to Coach Nugent talk about the camaraderie among the coaches in Monroe County football and really all of Section 5. I thought that was pretty cool. I just like hanging out with these guys.
No, and we've seen that change over time. He mentioned in other sections or other parts of the state, the coaches really don't like each other. And here, it's more of a fraternity where the coaches work together. They do the camps in the summer.
He's passing from his own end zone. See, this might be almost the safety. He's just going to get the nose of the football over the goal line and out.
And that might be a fortuitous spot right there, too. The good pressure there, I think it was Andre Bigham in there.
Take another look here.
For the Eagles.
Yeah, he did. He did a little delayed blitz. Steve Bigham came in, and
well, that's an experienced running back falling forward, even though he's playing quarterback, because that ball is not out of the end zone by much.
Second 20, and they got to be careful. This might be sneak territory, Steve.
Yeah, there are really not a lot of options in the playbook right now. It's all about having something positive happen, pushing forward. There's not
Luciano up front. Jalen Hill up front. They're moving the pile here for Irondequoit. Number 60 also for Irondequoit, doing a nice job up front. That's
a delay penalty, but half the distance to the goal, Jeff. It's going to cost them about an inch.
And Santana, one of those big boys up front, also doing a nice job for Irondequoit. Nice job, Mr. Santana. And, we talked about Luciano, that low center of gravity, Steve, coming off the end. You see him on the left end right now. Here he's in the backfield. Parker's going to throw it. Puts it up over the middle, and it is picked off. A diving interception. Is that Ross?
It's number 9.
It's number 9. Nice job. Great interception
Cam
there.
Freeman.
Cam Freeman low, got down low. Get low, Steve.
Get low. And Freeman, I believe, plays some tight end and receiver, so he's got good hands, and that was a tough ball to catch. It was low, and it was just a misconnection there. He was able to get his hands down there, fall on it, and it's going to be first and 10 for the Eagles at the 11.
What a ball game! Bigham dropped back in coverage there. What a ball game Andre Bigham has played tonight for Irondequoit. He's been all over the field, and now they get it at the 12-yard line and a chance to just put the exclamation point on this one.
Yeah, and that's 2 turnovers and 2 possessions for Brockport here in the second half, Jeff.
Another interception, 2 of 3 interceptions on the night. Here comes is it Christensen again. He's going to have himself a night. He's in, almost untouched. I think he was untouched, but Kai Christensen from 12 yards. Looks like we have a candidate for Player of the Week, Steve. 3 touchdown runs from Kai Christensen, and Irondequoit is taking this game by the throat.
Taking it over here. Christensen, I think we know who our post-game interview with John Garino is going to be. He's just got that explosive speed. They came around on that misdirection. He gets the corner, and he's gone.
3 touchdowns for him, and, of course, Lemire Smith with that 5-yard touchdown on the last possession.
And now into kick for the Eagles is number 27.
Hit a pole. Sam hit a pole.
Or Sam threw the uprights.
How about that? And he got it, I think. Yeah, it is good. All right, let's do it. 27-0 Irondequoit here. Steve, I said earlier,
but look at the blocking there by 14, seals the edge. Another block on the outside by the receiver. Christensen with that much open space, he could have gone 12 yards or he could have gone 72. Once he got to the corner, it was over.
Yeah, he's a talented young man, and again, good blocking up front for Irondequoit. They are turning this one into a laugher. I did not think. I thought if there was one team that was going to pull away and win this game by a big margin, it could be Irondequoit. Obviously, Brockport loses its quarterback in the first 5 plays of the ball game. He's playing defense. He's a linebacker and makes the tackle. So, but again, there's positives for Brockport. This is a young team. There's guys on the field right now that are learning how to play.
Yeah, and you can't overestimate the impact that the loss of Landon Smith has had on Brockport tonight. As you mentioned, he was a two-way player, standout. He's accounted for 15 touchdowns already this season, and then to lose him before they even get to touch the ball really just limited them offensively here.
He pulled the short quick kick. That's Judd's got this one this time, and he's hit pretty hard, and Brockport will take over at its own 27-yard line.
Yeah, nice return there by Judd, made a catch, and it's their best position, field position of the half. It's not great position, but there is a little bit of room to operate here, and I think the mindset for Brockport now has to shift to staying healthy, preparing for Wilson next week, and just finding something to build upon.
Remember, they have they'll finish off with 2 home games, Wilson next week and then Spencerport in the regular season finale, which will be certainly a game, and I hope whatever's going on with Landon Scott, he'll be able to return as soon as possible. And now on the other side of the ball, Steve, this fourth quarter, Irondequoit gives some of its young guys some action here.
Yeah, we got a little pause. We got an injured player on the field. I believe it's Mr. Judd. And for the Eagles, too, I mean, they needed to play well tonight because they've got 2 tough matchups coming down the road. I think the second half of the Eagles' schedule more difficult than the first half. So we talked at the top of the game about how jammed up Class A2 is. This is the 4 and 5 seeds here. If you're the Eagles, you got to say, what do we need to do to get a home game in the first round of the playoffs? And winning tonight is the first step towards that.
Yeah, it looks like Irondequoit's going to go to 4-2 on the season. Brockport will drop to 2-4. And we'll see if no changes. That's still Nate Parker, the quarterback, to take the shotgun snap and see what he can get going here for Brockport. 3 straight touchdowns to open the second half by Irondequoit to take control of this game. This was a 6-0 game at halftime, folks.
Ryan Miller on the carry there for Brockport. First time we've called Ryan's name tonight. Ryan is a freshman, Jeff. 5'10", 180-pound freshman, getting some reps here late in the third quarter.
Yeah, exactly what I was talking about. And Nate Parker's a junior too, so he'll be back next year. Scott's a sophomore, the quarterback, the regular quarterback. So again, they're building something here in Brockport. Minute and a half, and we're rolling here toward the end of the third quarter.
And with Parker too, you need to get him some reps in case he needs to play quarterback the next couple of games. If, the end of this game, let him do some things, maybe have some positive things happen so you can get on the film, look at them, and say, hey, okay, here's some things that didn't go well. Here's some things that did go well. Let's move forward and get ready for Wilson.
Miller once again on the carry and picks up a few yards. It'll be 3rd and 3 here for Brockport.
And I do think, Jeff, that you need to like the adjustments that the Irondequoit coaching staff made at halftime with the offense, coming out in that tight set and just hammering the ball on the left side of the line until to see if Brockport could stop it. And the Blue Devils were unable to do that, and the Eagles marched right down the field.
Ryan Miller again, and he's pretty close. I think he's in for a first down. Good reps for this young man here on the drive, and it looks like right now it's still first-team defense out there for Irondequoit, and I'm sure we'll start to see Coach Victor mix in some younger guys in the fourth quarter. And it's going to be 4th and 1. Looks like they didn't get it, and at this point, why not go for it? You're down.
And it looks
27-0.
like punt formation, though. I think, you might want to flip the field and not give Irondequoit the short field like they've had the whole second half here. Your defense has not had much of a break, and it has been on its heels. So I think maybe that's the call here.
Jordan Nolan back deep again for Irondequoit. He's had a couple nice interception returns, and it's a high punt. So what kind of roll it gets, and it's going to be a Brockport roll again, and it'll check up there on the 33-yard line. So you're right, Steve. Bottom a good 30-40 yards, and with that to stop in the action, it's 27-0 in Irondequoit. We'll take a break. You're watching Section 5 football on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
High school football fans, Varsity Media is bringing exciting, exclusive content to you for the 2022 season. Introducing the Varsity Media Pass, available on iOS and Android. Accessible all season long, the Varsity Media Pass features game highlights, weekly podcasts.
Can you talk a little bit about 8-man football and how it's grown.
Top 10 plays of the week, player interviews, and so much more. Head to varsitymediapass.com to download the app and start enjoying content only Varsity Media can bring.
Under center, and it's the Eagles with a big lead here in the second half. Scored a touchdown every time they've touched the ball in their second half, and they're going to get a little horse collar action here on the Brockport tackler. And nice run there by Miles Wynn, the sophomore. He's made some nice plays tonight. Now he's going to get a chance to carry the ball. Lemire Smith probably has the night off, the fourth quarter off, I would think. Resting the number 1 back for Irondequoit here in the fourth quarter.
As we mentioned, the Eagles have Canandaigua next week. Canandaigua, one of the top teams in Class A the last few years, and you want to have as many people healthy for that game as you can. The Eagles have endured some injury issues, so I think right here with a 27-0 lead, we're going to see some different players get some snaps.
Boy, that changes field position. Right now it's the 49-yard line for Irondequoit, and Ross under center, and it's number 9 sweeping out to the left side. Nice job there, Cam Freeman. Well done.
Still moving. Nice
breaking tackles. There. He doesn't want to stop. That's a gain of about 23 yards. Nice run in there by Cam Freeman. Trying to get some more carries out of Coach Victor. That was some
right. And you see guys that don't get to touch the ball as much, and there you go.
There's a nice block there by Jordan Nolan too. Nice job. Look at him just keeping his head up and trying to find another lane. And he found plenty of running room there. Nice job, Cam Freeman. 1st and 10 now, Irondequoit, 29-yard line. And tough run up the middle. That's Miles Wynn again, the sophomore. He's built a little bit taller than Lemire Smith, but Lemire does not have the night off. Here comes Lemire Smith.
Yeah, maybe he just got a few plays, and he'll get a chance here to touch the ball a couple more times.
He's got a touchdown tonight for Irondequoit. That 5-yard touchdown that made it 20-0. Every time Irondequoit's touched the ball here in the second half, it's been a march to the end zone, including that short one after the interception. Another fumble there on the exchange, it looked like, Steve.
And Smith took a pretty good hit there, too. It was 67. Beaten there. Irondequoit fortunate to maintain the ball.
No, I think Lucas Courtney got it for Brockport. I think it's a turnover, Steve.
Okay, yeah. So that will not make Coach Victor happy.
No, you talked about that sloppy play in the first half. And, again, I don't know. I mean,
Smith was met in the hole by 3 Brockport defenders. Ball came out, and, yeah, you're right. Number 3, Lucas Courtney, walks to the sideline with the ball. So
see Xavier Ross with palms up, like what happened? What happened on the exchange there? So they got to iron that out before next week. You can't turn the ball over like this against the Canandaigua. So Brockport gets the ball back. 10 minutes, 39 seconds left. Own 29-yard line.
Quick score from across town too. Jeff Eastridge playing Canandaigua. Canandaigua with the 13-3 lead in that game. So it looks like the
closer than I would have thought.
Braves are up 10, but looking to go 5-1 and be ready to see the Eagles next week.
I think that was Ryan Miller again on the run for Brockport. Parker still in at quarterback, calling the plays. See him checking his wrist. He's got plays on his wristband.
And I think for the Blue Devils, they're 2nd and 5-yard plays, positive. Just try to grind out some first downs, make some plays, and
keep that clock rolling.
Keep the clock rolling, and limit the damage here.
Ryan Miller once again up the middle, some tough running. Tough to see in the pile there. Who's tackling? Looks like Cameron Miller on the tackle there for Irondequoit.
Miller on Miller.
A few Camerons on the squad, huh, Steve?
It was. A few Camerons, a few Millers. Miller time.
Well, it's been Mackay time for much of the night here for Irondequoit. Mackay Christensen with 3 touchdown runs, 25 yards. Late in the first half, it made it a tight game at halftime, 6-0, and then tacked on 2 more here in the second half. Miller once again up the middle, and a big hit. That's Bigham again. He's been in the backfield almost as much as some of the Brockport players, Steve.
He has. He's just been able, with no legitimate passing game here. I don't think Brockport has a complete pass here all night. Bingham has just been able to run downhill all night and disrupt things and make his fair share of plays too. Definitely an impressive effort by number 15. Now Miller and Bingham coming out. I think they're subbing in.
Darian Battle's in now. Yep, some of the backups are coming in now.
Javon Smith, I think, back.
Or as they say now, it's the twos, Steve. The twos.
Oh,
and there's a fumble on the other side, and Parker gets it back. Fumble on the exchange between Miller and Parker. And this time, is that ball wet, Steve? A little dewy out there?
Yeah, well, it's still a new quarterback, too. I think there's a lot of things. I think we were expecting a cleaner game here. We've had some snap issues throughout the night. That one was a little high and may have disrupted the
exchange.
Nate Parker a little bit, getting the ball down low, and then didn't have great placement on the handoff.
2nd and 13 for Brockport, down 27-0. It's been all Irondequoit Eagles here in the second half. Nate Parker in the shotgun. He's going to put it up. He's looking left, looking right. And we're going to probably get pass interference here. Yeah, you got to turn around and make like you're making a play on the ball. You can't put your hands up like that. And it looks like it's going to be a flag. Is that Bingham?
Pass intended for number 4, Aze O'Day.
I know Aze O'Day, the intended receiver there, had a touchdown last week. Again, we've been impressed with Parker's arm strength. He steps into that one, gets it out to the far sideline. I think it's number 19.
Is it 19? I beg your pardon, not 15. Sorry, that's Demetrius Grant,
and
junior for Irondequoit.
It should be a fresh set of downs here for the Blue Devils.
Yeah, you gotta turn on, get your head turned around, and make a play on the ball there.
But after that,
that's an easy one.
That penalty-ridden start a little bit with the 5 early penalties.
Yeah.
That's the first penalty on the Eagles in a long time. And
much cleaner in the second half, yeah, for sure.
And I think really that's the point of emphasis, right? When you're Coach Victor and you know that this game is looking pretty good, that you need to make sure you're clean for Canandaigua.
There's the first completed pass of the night, I believe, Steve, for Brockport. Parker hits.
I think that might be Aze O'Day.
Aze O'Day, yeah.
6 yards, and this is probably
moving the ball. Yeah, you talk about playing him for the future, right? If Scott can't play next week, we need to get Nate Parker and the receivers more in sync. So certainly doing what they can to get ready next week for Wilson.
And it's much easier to call those plays when you're at midfield rather than backed up in your own end zone. And
you spoke too soon, Steve. You spoke too soon.
I seem to have a habit of doing that, Jeff.
Yeah, it looked like Irondequoit may have jumped on that. Yeah, encroachment on the defense again. Something that plagued Irondequoit in the first half. But much cleaner in the second half when they've dominated so far.
And that'll be a first down for the Eagles. A couple first downs here, or for the Blue Devils, couple first downs here on this drive.
Ryan Miller once again, the freshman. Good yardage there up the middle, and good tough running, and a good tackle by number 32, I believe, 42, Steve. 42, that is Austin Holler. Austin Holler.
Stand up and holler.
They'll be hooting and hollering after this one. Irondequoit. It's a big win. It gets them back on track after that tough loss last week against Greece Athena, and getting ready for Canandaigua. We're coming to town next week.
And if you're Brockport, right, you have to just have a short memory, adjust, and there's still a lot in front of this team. 2-4, chance to finish the season 4-4. And
Parker's going to put it up again. Stevenson over the middle, and it's a great pass and a catch, and it's a touchdown for Brockport. That's number 4, Aze O'Day on the touchdown catch, and a 28-yard strike, and a good one from Nate Parker to Aze O'Day. And that's something to build on, isn't it?
It is. That was a nice slant route there. O'Day was open over the middle. Parker put the ball there. O'Day was able to go up and get it and come down with the ball and shed the defender and get into the end zone. So there's that positive play that Brockport's been looking for.
And, Parker has shown a good arm tonight. He's overthrown a couple, but that was right on the money. A nice route by Aze O'Day.
And I think it was just much more difficult against the Irondequoit starters without a lot of reps. Some of that's timing, and maybe against this defense there was a little bit more time, a little bit room for error, and a little bit bigger window to place the ball.
They're going to go for 2. Parker in the shotgun snap. He's going to fake the handoff and throw out to the flat, and it is good. 2-point conversion.
Torrance Salvati, I believe, on the catch.
He's back again. So some positive stuff there. 27-8 now, 6:45 to go. Here's the touchdown pass, Steve.
Yep.
Good look over the middle, and like I said, a good route right in between two guys, Steve.
In between two defenders at the 5, O'Day goes up and gets it and finishes that play. And you look at the Brockport roster, that's a junior making that throw to O'Day, who's a sophomore. So young players, again, making big plays.
2 more years they got together after this one. Aze O'Day and Landon Scott, the quarterback, and Nate Park will be back next year too for Brockport. So some positive stuff there. 27-8 as we head to the final 6:45. And let me just say to the whole press box to hear, that pizza smell is killing me. I don't know where it went. I don't want a piece, but it's killing me.
It's right behind you.
Woof. Is that 2 tons? Yeah, it is.
Yeah, we're all working though.
Yeah, I know. You know. Woof.
You can't be eating and working.
Turn that into a cologne, will you? So
looks like onside kick lineup here for Parker. Irondequoit.
Well, if you're working on stuff, right, might as well do it again in live play. Why not?
Yep. See what happens.
And it's a good one, or maybe not. All right, nice, good hands there. Good catch right at the 50-yard line. Double deuces for Irondequoit. That's Darian Battle. Darian Battle, nice hands there from the sophomore, and we'll see if they change the look up here and put a backup quarterback in, Steve.
Yeah, that clean catch there, and it looks like we might have, is it number 19? No, Ross is still in there.
He is still in there, yeah. Well, this will be run to the left, run to the right, and keep the clock moving as they look toward Canandaigua next week. And Irondequoit's going to go to 4-2 on the season. Brockport will drop to 2-4, and we've got some more whistles.
Yeah, there was, I believe, a timeout because things on the offensive line were not situated right there. I think it would have been a pre-snap violation on Irondequoit.
Look, you see Victor. He's still coaching. Look, he's still coaching. 27-8, and he's talking to these guys like it's 0-0. And we can take a quick break. Sure, I promise not to turn around and devour that pizza. You're watching Section 5 football on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
If you're an event organizer looking for a media company to cover live streaming, action photography, and game video for your event, look no further. Varsity Media travels throughout the Northeast covering weekend tournaments, showcases, and championships. Contact us today to learn about our services and packages at 516-403-2050 or visit us online at varsitymedia.net.
We are right back at Irondequoit High School, 27-8. The Eagles have turned it on here in the second half. They got the ball at midfield, and looks like Ross with a handoff to
number 8.
Number 8, Miles Wynn, the sophomore, building for the future here. And a nice tackle, Steve.
Yeah, Dylan Lassar, who's a two-way starter on that line for Brockport, was right there, along with number 75.
They want us to wind the clock. Yeah, they're winding the clock. Easy, guys. No one.
Caden Jorleman, also in there, the senior for Brockport.
No gain on the play, Steve. Haven't said that much in the second half for Irondequoit, have we?
No, the Eagles certainly adjusted at halftime, came out strong, and were able to pull away here tonight.
And you have to wonder, and it breaks through the hole. Miles Wynn, big run from the 50 all the way down to the 32-yard line. Big gain for the sophomore. Good tough run in there, too. Good to see for Irondequoit's future.
And a nice hole. You know, we saw the play before. Brockport won the line of scrimmage. This play, Irondequoit clearly wins the line of scrimmage. A nice hole sealed off right there. He's not touched, Jeff, till he's at the 38-yard line.
Darian Battle with a nice block, too, coming up on that play.
Yeah, you know, when you're not touched till the secondary, that's good news for the offense.
Ross handoff again. Wynn breaking some tackles, keeping the legs churning.
Yeah, that leg drive was impressive. He was met at about the 25-yard line and just kept moving forward, falling forward, driving forward, and going to give him a 2nd and 1.
Tacks on another 3 yards there. Nice 9-yard gain for the sophomore, Miles Wynn. Pretty good name if you're an athlete, Wynn.
Wynn?
Yeah.
And Miles, too. You know,
there's only one quote comes to me like, Win, Rocky, win. Ross checking over the defense. Another handoff to Wynn. He's the new Lemire. And this time it's stopped. Number 75, nice tackle there for Brockport.
Jorleman again, I believe. Caden Jorleman. 2 tackles on this drive. He's a inside tackle.
6 foot 240. He used all of his weight there and strength to take down Miles Wynn. But it's a 1st and 10 for Irondequoit. Just under 5 minutes to play here in what has turned into a rout, but tight game at halftime, 6-0.
It was, and we've talked to the coaches in Class A2, and I think they're generally.
That was Darion Battle, I think, that took the snap right from center. Steve, beg your pardon.
Yep. In Class A2, obviously, East World of Inquiry has been the most impressive team through 5 weeks, but the coaches and the assistant coaches that we've talked to all think that you get in the middle, anything can happen in any week. And this game was certainly influenced by the injuries, but we get to sectionals. I wouldn't be surprised if a 6 gives the 3 a real good game, regardless of who that is.
Miles Wynn to the left side. He could get to the flag. We got a flag on the play. It's going to be an 18-yard touchdown, or it's coming back. Probably coming back.
I would think so. That whole side of the field was wide open. I think there's got to be a hold there on the outside.
Yeah, it is holding on Irondequoit.
Nice ISO shot of the referee, A.C. Buckland. We look here. That whole side of the line is caved in somewhere, someplace.
I don't see it, Steve. I don't see it.
Somebody got the hands outside.
All right, Miles Wynn's just going to make it. He's going to make it a little longer touchdown run here. I don't think he's got a touchdown this year, Steve.
2nd and 15 for the Eagles.
2nd and 15.
All right, from the 27 this time. Darion Battle under center now. And he's going to fake it and go around the left end. Darion Battle with some running room. Tries to get it on the left end. He can't do it. He's going to be out of bounds.
Yeah,
pretty good keeper there. And again, you never know. Hey, Xavier Ross, here's your backup quarterback. Get some work in for Darion Battle.
And if you look at the roster, Battle's listed as a tight end and linebacker. Probably the injury to Barr forced that Irondequoit coaching staff to move some things around, and you always need to know who the next man up is in case you need him. And I mean, how many staffs in Section 5 are experienced as this Irondequoit staff?
Oh, pretty amazing. George Giordano's here in the booth. I mean, he coached back in the 50s, Greece Olympia.
There's I think 5 coaches on staff who have been head coaches in Section 5 at some point.
Handoff up the middle. Not much going on there.
Between George Giordano and Chris Battaglia.
Victor, and you got Butler, you got Giesler. These guys are coaches other sports too. George, who was the guy that kept the field goal?
Kevin Nope.
Kevin Nope. How long? Still a record?
Jeff checking on some Section 5 history here with George Giordano going back to Greece Olympia. Kevin Nope, the kicker, set a 58-yard field goal.
Knope, Kevin Nope.
Did you cover that game in the 90s?
I did not. No, 27. There he is, Miles Wynn.
Didn't quite get there, I don't think.
No, it's going to be a couple yards short.
So we know that 31 years ago this weekend you were covering a University of Rochester football game. How many of those did you cover in your career?
Not many, Steve. Not many. That was so it was fall of '91. I had just graduated from college, and I was working part-time for the Democratic Chronicle. And instead of being in the office that night, they sent me out to. I was at Fauver.
Fauver Stadium against Carnegie Mellon.
Yeah. Wow. I maybe covered 1 or 2 University of Rochester football games in my life. I never went and looked at it. You said the lead wasn't very good. the writing wasn't very good. Thanks, Steve. I appreciate that.
That's not what I said. I said you've written better stories.
Darion Battle on the keeper, and he's going to take this one in for the touchdown. We're gonna call it a 3-yard touchdown keeper.
3-yard run by Battle, and that's the kind of drive that you see at the end of the game, Jeff. And I think we got a little bit of a chance here for the Irondequoit kicker to kick an extra point. That's going to be
Hippotal.
No. It's Sky Maddle. And Sky Maddle, number 20, coming in. She's a junior. And across Section 5 this year, a lot of girls have had the chance to kick for football.
Fantastic.
She's not going to
No,
kick, though.
We're not going to kick. They're going to go for 2 again.
But she's out in the slot.
There she is. And the run up the middle, it's Battle. He's going to be stopped. We're going to be 33-8 here with 2:25 to go. And just an explosion of points here in the second half. 27 second half points for Irondequoit and 8 here for Brockport. It was a 6-0 game at halftime if you're just getting home and just joining us. And Makai Christensen with 3 touchdown runs for the Eagles. One late in the first half, a 25-yard end around. Then to open the second half, 5 minutes in, a 9-yard touchdown run. Then Lemire Smith, who did a lot of tough running in the middle of the field. 5-yard touchdown run to make it 20-0. That was, I believe, that was the one that came. No, it was the next one that came after the interception at the 12-yard line. And Makai Christensen took that one in from 12 yards out late in the third to make it 27-0. And it's been all Eagles all in the second half.
Yeah, I mean, this game was scoreless for almost the first 22 minutes. And then once the Eagles found a way to get to the end zone, they made some adjustments at halftime and came out and really won the second half.
33-8. Next week, it's we got 2 more home games for Brockport. They're going to finish off with a home game against Wilson and a home game against Spencerport. And Irondequoit will play next week. They're going to host Canandaigua.
And then
they go to Brighton.
On the road at Brighton. So.
2 tough ones for Irondequoit.
Yep, but you want to be playing your best football at the end of the year. So even though the score tonight for the Eagles 33-8 looks like it was
their best football has not been played tonight.
Right. You can be happy about the win.
Boy, those kicks work, Steve.
Yeah,
they work. That's another one that Brockport's having trouble fielding. Get the ball on the ground and let the oblong watermelon do what it's doing.
Yeah, and you can be happy with the result, but you can also learn from it. And sometimes when you're a coach, that's the best situation because I don't think anybody wearing a white uniform tonight is going to walk out of here saying that they played their best game, but they took care of business, and they get a chance at Canandaigua next week.
You know what it was tonight for Brockport? Too much Makai on my hands. Did you get that? You got it? You with me? Too much time on my hands?
Yeah, it was a little bit of a leap.
Obscure 80s song lyrics for 100, please.
Yeah, you're going with Sticks there, right?
It is Sticks. That is correct, sir.
Yep. So John Garino down on the sideline tonight for Varsity Media. He will have Irondequoit head coach Dan Fichter, who will probably be in a better mood than he was at halftime, and Makai Christensen, who with his 3 touchdowns here was really a game changer for the Eagles.
Makai's brother Malik, I think it was Malik Christensen, also played on the team last year before that. And it looks like there might be another Christensen in the lineup, Maurice Christensen.
Number 13.
Okay, here we go. Brockport back, and it's probably Ryan Miller again. Nice run. He's got a lot of carries here in the second half. Freshman Ryan Miller's turning kind of the next Nate Parker up here.
Well, he's kind of showing what he can do, and that Irondequoit defense, Jeff, they haven't stopped hitting just because the score is 33-8. Sarah Hall's still in there, and that was a big hit.
It was. 21's coming out of the game here for Irondequoit. Got some other guys. Let's get some call here. Ilian Velasquez is in, and you see Darion Battle.
But my point, though, it doesn't matter what the score is. These guys are playing.
Yeah, they're playing some football. Absolutely. Yeah, that's a hit. That's a hit for sure. Also in on the tackle there.
Well, you hear coaches all the time, right? The tape doesn't lie. So you get a chance to get on tape and you want to show what you can do. You don't go half speed. You go all out.
Well, I think we were a little bamboozled last night by Coach Fichter. Isaiah Ballard, he was not a X factor. He was a non-factor.
Well,
he did get in on a couple plays.
Well, they did go for him 3 times down in the end zone when the game was 6-0.
That's true. All right, I'll give you that. All right, I take it back, Coach Fichter. You weren't bamboozling us.
I mean, I think they tried to make him an X factor, but the plays didn't connect.
Ooh, hang in there, Ryan Miller. It's a tough tackle here late in the game. 59 seconds and running here. We'll probably get one more play off. 33-8. Irondequoit's going to go to 4-2 on the season, and Brockport falls to 2-4. Makai Christensen show tonight. We speak with him after the game, along with Coach Dan Fichter, the homestanding Irondequoit Eagles. They play their regular season home finale next week against Canandaigua, who's playing over in across town in East Irondequoit right now.
Yeah, and I will try and get an update on that game before we go off the air, but I would anticipate that Canandaigua will be 5-1. If they're not, that would be a big surprise.
And a big comeback by Eastridge. Last time we checked in that game, it was 13-3 for the Braves over the Lancers.
And Canandaigua has managed, Jeff, to build its lead at 27-3, pulling away a little bit there. But it is that game must have started a little bit later because there's only 46 seconds left in the second quarter. So that's a halftime score.
3 interceptions for Brockport tonight. Couple fumbles. Actually, more they put more on the turf. Irondequoit did. They only lost a couple of them. But there it is. There's your final score. 33 for the Irondequoit Eagles. 8 for Brockport. And big second half for Irondequoit to blow open what was the 6-0 game at halftime. And pretty impressive performance. What worried Coach Nugent happened, right? I mean, yes, they lost their quarterback and their linebacker. We get it. That's certainly an X factor in this game. But they couldn't contain the speed and getting to the edge for Irondequoit.
Yeah, Mackay Christensen, we mentioned Lemire Smith was doing all the dirty work, and then Christensen was able to benefit. He didn't get as many touches, but when he did get the football, he made big plays. And he's that explosive type of player that can change a game. And it went from 6-0 to 27-0 pretty quickly there in the third quarter.
Appreciate the hospitality here at Irondequoit High School, and appreciate Steve Bradley here being the color analyst. Appreciate your work tonight, Steve, and pushing me to do some really extensive prep yesterday, and had a fun conversation and got a lot of good intel from Coach Victor and Coach Nugent, two of the most senior people in Monroe County football. We determined last night it was Coach Rich Lapani from Hilton has the most years under his belt as a Monroe County coach.
Yeah, in terms of a head coach at the same school.
Most wins, too.
Yeah, just congratulations to Rich, just passed 200 a couple weeks ago. Hilton's got a good team in Class A1. And we see John down on the field is lining up with Coach Victor. I think he's going to get Mackay over there, and should be interesting. I think it will, like I mentioned, should be much more pleasant conversation with Coach Victor than it was at halftime.
I think we're ready to go to Coach John Garino with Coach Dan Victor and Mackay Christensen from victorious Irondequoit Eagles.
All right. Good. All right, 33-8 winners here. Big win. We talked at halftime. You said sloppy football. You cleaned that up in the second half. Give me your thoughts on the game.
You give the ball to guys like him and makes you look smart.
All right, next question. Senior night next week against Canandaigua. They're up 10 right now at halftime against Eastridge. Big game for you guys. What do you got to do to prepare?
Canandaigua is always a big game. Love playing them. Great program. They're well coached. Good players. It's going to be exciting.
Awesome. Coach, thanks a lot. I appreciate it. Mackay, big game tonight. 3 touchdowns. What was working for you?
My run game. I just practice hard, and it shows in the game.
Awesome. And same question I asked Coach. You got senior night next week against Canandaigua. Big game for you guys. 4-2. Looks like they're going to be 5-1 coming into this game. Got a big home game. What do you got to do during the week to prepare for Canandaigua?
Got to practice hard. No days off.
All right. Awesome. Mackay, thanks. Appreciate it. Good luck the rest of the season.
Thank you.
All right. Jeff, back up to you.
Thank you, John. Thank you, Mackay Christensen and Dan Victor, for our post-game interview right here on the Varsity Media Sports Network. 3 Mackay Christensen touchdowns, 1 late in the first half and a couple more in the second half were the difference. Obviously a key injury early in this game, Steve, for Brockport on the first series of downs defensively. Middle linebacker and quarterback Landon Scott lost to injury and certainly changed the game.
Certainly did. We were hoping to see that balanced Brockport offense challenge Irondequoit a little bit more, but the loss of Scott forced them to tighten things up a little bit, get a little simpler, and then as the game wore on, there were just no answer for Mackay Christensen and his speed to the outside.
And multiple people gave Brockport some problems on the outside. Mackay was the one that took it to the house 3 times. A good effort from both teams for sure, and I know both teams have stuff to work on before next week when they head into the penultimate week of the regular season, Steve Bradley.
Yeah, in the last division game. So then they'll do a crossover in the final week. We'll get the final standings, and it'll be mid-October in Section 5 playoff football.
For John and Joel, I'm Jeff DeVeronica, and for Steve Bradley, thanks for tuning in and watching us right here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.